3, The Fan. It's Friday, September 8th. Nice short week for the fellas here. Short week for the tier ones as well. Great to be here with you this morning. I'm Woodsy. To my right, Paul Reindl.
Are you ready for the football?
I hate you, you dumb bastard. You stupid son of a bitch. I hate you
I've been planning that for, 10 hours now?
God, I hate it.
Oh, my God.
Hey, let's everyone lube up our hands before the game. Kadarius Toney, what do you have, lube on your hands? I got a good idea. I'm going to smear Crisco all over my hands.
Holy crap.
That guy couldn't catch a cold. A cold. Mother. This is when I wish I could curse, because I would be letting the expletives fly about that stupid. My wife laughed at me so hard after I'm like, yeah, it's a survivor pool. I'm out the first week. She looked at me, she's an idiot. I go, oh, don't worry. You'll get yours on the air tomorrow. Wait till you hear what Mrs. Woods did last night, by the way. We'll have to figure out who had the actual worst night. To my left, Benjamin Higgins, your friendly, sensible neighborhood sports anchor. Taking a little grief yesterday on Twitter and on Instagram. I was now getting DMs about your UFO and alien take. People were mad at me.
That's how bad it was.
That's how bad it was. Paulie put that clip out.
I heard it all over the place yesterday. Family, friends, everybody talking to me about UFOs. Most of them somewhat
peeved.
Yeah, somewhat upset.
They're mad at you.
But I don't think they totally understood. Like, even my son was going, how do you not believe in aliens? And I go, hold on.
Jack?
Did you listen to the segment? No, not the whole segment. I said I do believe that we are not alone in the universe.
You believe in life.
I do believe in life beyond our planet. I don't believe that they are coming really close to visiting us, just barely being seen, and then like some sort of intergalactic game of hide and seek flying off when only, one guy on a ranch somewhere got to see a light, or Aaron Rodgers in New Jersey one day got to see a weird light, and then off they went again with leaving no concrete evidence of their visit. That's what I am skeptical of.
You don't know that there was you don't know if they dropped some people off or some life forces off. That's the thing. That could just be like a bus stop. That power plant could be a bus stop where they're just, all right, go out into the world.
So, but why are they, I'm sorry to bring this up again. Why are they coming all the way here? Now, okay, I foresee a couple of possibilities. Let's say that they can. They can get here from Alpha Centauri or wherever they're flying from.
Yes.
So they could just say, hey, we're here, just like land, and everyone can see them, right? That's a choice you could make if you flew here.
Yes.
Okay, so they didn't do that, obviously. We'd all know about that.
Well, no. They could. What if they're in human form? They have the ability to be in...
Bro, you ever see War of the Worlds?
Yeah, you ever see Men in Black?
They're in the dirt.
They're everywhere.
They could be people we know.
Okay.
Your
I
teacher.
thought that you were so
fine.
defensive about it, you
That's
might
fine.
be one.
Okay, so they have...
You're trying to hide.
I know.
So
What's that thing on your back?
They're so
Curious.
advanced that they can not only get here, the technology to fly here,
Right.
unbelievably beyond what we can dream of right now.
Sure.
Yeah, we're
And
idiots.
they have the ability to completely mimic us, blend in,
Do you watch the news?
everything.
Do you watch the news here? Do you consider us an educated, smart country these days?
So they don't
You watch the news?
They don't.
Aren't you on the news?
You're literally, you
You're
are
on
the news. You are the news.
They can't stealthily get here. Why does Aaron Rodgers get to see them then? They can't find a nice remote place to land where no one, use your scanners like
In the
no one's
crops.
here. So
in the crops where there's plenty of circles and signs and things like that. I'm just saying, anything's possible. Anything is possible. And, think about Christopher Columbus back in the day and Magellan. What were they doing? They were exploring. That's what they're doing. They're exploring. They're down here looking.
And guess what? The Native Americans very much knew they got there.
That is true.
Because they slaughtered them all when they got there.
That's true. I mean, look at the state of Mississippi. Are you sure with 100% certainty that those aren't aliens there? Are you sure in human form? I'm just saying it's a possibility. So anyway, we will get more into that.
Oh, yes, we will.
Today. We actually have a guest, a gentleman that works in the building, here in this building, that has seen a UFO and reached out to Paulie, and he's going to be stopping by. And
He's like, I love Ben. He could not sound more wrong right now.
100%.
We got another weather balloon story coming.
Here we go. Yeah, a military exercise. You never know. You just never know. Somebody in the chat said, Skinny Ben been wildin' lately. Yeah, Skinny Ben has a whole new sense of confidence, which is good. That's what you want. Adio Royster asks how I'm already dialed up to 13.
Yeah, well,
because of that stupid game.
You know that there are 272 games in an NFL season.
Mm-hmm.
When you put it all together, there are 272 regular season games. In a survivor pool, the idea is to make it through all 272 of them without picking one wrong. You did not make it through one. There's one game, and it's over. You're done. It's over.
Well, that's...
I mean, usually I can make it at least like week 10, 11, 12.
I told you, don't pick the first game. At least make it to Sunday of week 1 because you didn't pick the first game.
I think there was I signed up for 2 accounts. Something happened.
Oh, shut the hell
Paulie
up.
texted me and said, you didn't make a pick yet. And I said, but I did.
No.
Yes, I have proof of that.
Everyone heard your pick on the air yesterday. You were very fired
know
up to
about
pick
that.
the
You
can
Kansas
literally
City
go
Chiefs.
to the tape.
I don't know about that. But listen.
And I told you.
Listen.
I mean,
hold on. I'm here's the thing.
How are you going to talk your way out of this?
Just
one?
hold on. I got a little bit caught up in the moment, as I've been known to do. So I'm here to ask you guys, may I buy back in? Now, I don't know how it works. Obviously, this can't be something that's allowed beyond. Like, everybody doesn't get one do-over because that would kind of ruin the survivor. If you want to say no, that's fine. I don't even know how it would work. Do I give just pay in another $50?
You're that guy.
Well,
you want back in. You want a second shot now.
I want a second chance. Because, again, it was the first day of football, and I got so excited, and I got caught up in the moment, and I like to be where the action is, as you know. Now, if you don't want to let me do it, that's fine. A listener last night on Twitter had a good idea. I wouldn't just walk in here and say, come on, please let me back in. And, of course, I'll pay double, whatever. But it's going to suck for me for the next... As long as you guys are in it, you guys be like, who are you going to take? And I'm going to be sitting here on my thumbs.
It will be weird if
It's
Paul and I are still
terrible.
battling like week 13
And
of
I'm
the
just like-
season. It's early December. And Woods has not made a pick since September the 6th
You guys...
on the first day of the year when he picked the Chiefs.
Also, this is for your guys' own good. Because you know what I'm going to do. No one cares about your survivor picks. Just move on, right? I'm going to be...
Philosophically, I'm opposed because it's
okay.
a survivor pool. You can't just have unlimited rebuys to get back in. The whole point, because then you just keep paying until eventually you won at the end. So there has to be rules in a survivor pool. However,
did you see Andy's tweet?
I did see Andy's tweet. And here is the only thing working for you. The season hasn't really even started yet.
That's what I was thinking.
It's almost like a poker term. Before the end of the first level, if you are out, you can just start over. Because you haven't gotten too far in.
Correct.
Where, it's
Okay,
not
well,
like
what if Washington loses on Sunday? Do I get to just buy back in?
it's not like we've all won 7 in a row and
How
all of a
about
sudden
Adam
you want
and
back
Michael?
in.
Do they get to just buy back in whenever they lose?
Their management, they don't get a vote. This is for you guys. I don't care what they think. I care what you guys think. So here's the deal. Andy tweeted in last night. All right, one show in an Under Armour shirt to buy back in. If you've never listened to this program before, about a year ago, we were deciding what would be the worst way to lose a bet. You see it with fantasy teams, right? Like, I saw a guy had a caddy for his buddy. It was at Encinitas Ranch. It went viral. And he's in full caddy jumper, big old golf bag caddying for him. There's all kinds of different punishments. And I said, it would be the worst punishment of all time to have to go to a Padres game in an Under Armour shirt and jeans, right? There's nothing worse. So Andy said one show and an Under Armour shirt to buy back in. So I brought 2 Under Armour shirts. I will do the Under Armour shirt. I mean, we're on camera, so people are going to see it. They can see it. I'll do it if you guys will let me back in. If you don't want to let me back in, you don't have to.
So I don't want it to be a free-for-all. Like, if you lose, you're out. And that's the rules. However, here's my thought, Paul. Because the season hasn't really even started yet, now you can get back in. You're going to have to pay another $50 to get in. And you still have to pick a winner this week. It's not like you get week 1 for free.
If you lose,
You still have to pick a winner this week. And by the way, you've still burned the Chiefs for the season, so you don't get to pick the Chiefs again ever again the rest of the year. Those are my conditions to get back in. Under Armour shirts.
Oh my God!
You still have to pick a winner this week, and the Chiefs and whoever you pick this week are both burned for the rest of the season.
There's 5 of us in the survival pool. It's us 3, and our bosses Adam and Michael. I think if Woods wants to buy back in for $50 and wins the whole thing, everyone Venmos him 25 instead of 50.
Why would I do that?
I mean, if you're in,
letting you back in.
If you're in for a full 50, I think he has to be allowed to win the pool if he wins it.
So now I'm in for 100.
Yeah, you're in for 100, and you can
So you
still
will Venmo $100.
So he really is getting he's getting less of a prize if he wins because he's in for 100. We're all in for 50.
Well, then if I have to do that, I'm not wearing the Under Armour.
His return, no, I think you get the full
share
if you win, but you're in for 100. You can't pick the Chiefs, and you still have to pick a winner this week. You can't get through week 1 and go,
and I have to wear the shirt.
I'm good until week 2 now because I bought back in.
I have to wear the shirt.
Yeah, you have to wear the shirt.
All right, I brought 2. You guys can decide.
You brought 2 Under Armour shirts.
Brought 2. Got this one at Fantasy Camp. It's pretty embarrassing. The Under Armour undershirt. Oh, my camera did follow me.
Yeah, it did. Oh, absolutely. We've got the tracking cameras for this.
That's fantastic.
It's not embarrassing.
All right, let's see here.
What is that? Triple XL? That's like loose.
So tight.
No.
This is so tight.
Are you kidding me? You
is
wear
not
T-shirts
tight.
tighter than that.
All right, let's try the other one.
That's
See
nuts.
if that one will do it for you.
Cameras.
Woodsy doesn't want it to fall.
Doesn't matter. It's already out there.
I know.
Yeah, you're too late.
Not going to get me again, though.
Well, we'll get a nice surprise reveal here on our YouTube stream, though, after you change into it.
XL. Oh.
It's medium.
I
That
still.
one's a little
What?
tighter.
That's like
That's a
hanging
little.
off.
That's better
your-
than the first one. All right, far up there. Here comes. Here he comes.
I don't know. That just looks like a long sleeve T-shirt.
Are you kidding? This thing is skin tight. I can barely breathe. Oh my God! I see dads rolling around in this. I see them picking up their kids from school in jorts and one of these.
Like, look how much it's like sagging on your arms. Like that needs to be like.
Well, that's because
skin
I don't
tight.
have a lot of muscle, Paulie.
That's not the shirt that's sagging. That's actually his
That's my.
arms sagging.
He says the other one's better. No, this one's way tighter. This one's way tighter. All right, I'll do this. I mean, what do you guys want me to do?
Well, first of all, come up with a winner for this week. That you have to make your pick later in the show today on the record.
All right,
so we all know.
Eric in the chat says it's BS. I don't have to do it. I don't want to be that guy. That's like you guys know me. My biggest fear is being that guy. I just miss the fun. I'm going to miss the fun. But you know what? He's right. I don't want to be that guy.
Trying to think. Like, what if 2 others lose?
The
in
danger
week
is,
one?
yeah. I mean,
Like three.
We could all
3 out
lose
of
week
5.
1 and it's over. We'll have to start over anyway next week, and you'll be like, oh, I guess you could win it all this week. Technically, if you made another pick, you won, we all lost. You could win the whole pool this week, which would be weird.
And me in here just like double birding you guys. I don't know.
JR says, let Woods back in.
See, but Eric is going to be in my head the rest of the day. No way, dude. That's lame. You're that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be able to lose. I'm trying to teach my kids at home to lose with grace.
Well, get into Scraby's pool then. I got into that one as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't even see an invite. Where was that?
They sent an email.
Probably
They sent
didn't
an
put me
email
on-
yesterday.
Probably didn't put me on there. I got another one from a tier 1. I'll just play with them. That's fine. I'm taking this off. That's fine. It's my fault.
All right,
it's not your fault. You guys are kind and generous people.
I mean, that's 15 minutes of foreplay. I have not even heard about your television commercial yesterday yet.
It gets worse.
Can't wait to hear about that.
Are we letting him back in?
No, I'm out.
He's out.
Camera's still following you. You can't outrun it.
You can't.
Wait for me.
It's a voyeur. That's what it is. Likes to watch. All right, we've got a good show planned for you. It's
I'm lost and I'm naked in the studio.
it's Friar Friday.
That might be punishment.
We
enough.
actually will have an early Padres guest. Bob Scanlan's going to join us at 7 o'clock this morning as the team gets ready for the 9-game road trip starting tonight in Houston. A big series for the Astros, who are 1/2 game ahead of the Seattle Mariners in the AL West. Padres trying to play a little spoiler role. However, I did come up with your last ditch scenario for your Padres this year.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. If you want to stay tuned for that, I've got that for you.
Nobody's going to stay tuned for your last ditch scenario.
Got our regular visits from Craig Elsten on a Friday. All of our features, Don't Do This, Take on Woods, Reindl Report. Geoff Blum is going to join us, old
the
show
Blummer.
friend.
I love it.
Astros broadcaster going to be with us in our 9 o'clock hour as well.
He's
so busy Friday.
He's going to be all cocky because the Astros are playing great. Sucks, man. Here we go.
We like Blummer, though.
We
so
do love
should be a
Blummer.
good show. Lots to get to. We got our Daily Ditty coming up next. And rolling as we head toward the weekend here on San Diego's #1 sports station. Let's check traffic right now on 97.3 The Fan.
Woo!
Shocking
Man.
that Woods would like this song.
What do you mean?
Here's a quarter, call someone who cares.
You guys should have both said that to me when I asked
Yeah,
to get back.
exactly.
Like, here's a quarter, Woods.
Call someone who cares.
Because we had a lot of discussion about this off the air. And Tier 1B George said, why don't you pay Ben $25? Ben's notoriously cheap. And then you and Ben can team up together, and then you split the winnings. And I said, Ben said, no, I'm not doing that. I said, okay.
I'm the
Well, here's the
commissioner.
thing.
Oh, yeah, you are the commissioner.
I didn't lose in my first game on the pick. That's
Let's
the
just
thing.
say this.
I haven't lost yet. Now,
Let's
I may
just say
feel
this.
differently after Sunday if my pick loses, but right now I'm kind of in the catbird seat.
So let's just say this. I'll remember this. I'm going to remember this for both of you. Okay? We've gone to you son of a bitch. Mahomes tonight, guys.
no.
I like Patrick
The worst moment of
Mahomes.
my life.
And the 4.5 points I don't think is going to be a problem. That's my gut telling me. In fact, I went ahead and picked it.
It's your
Football
survivor
is
I
pick.
bet it and I picked it. It's a fun night for me. Really fun night.
Bet it too.
First
so-
game of the season.
Yeah.
And you bet on it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's you are now digging out of a hole for the rest of the season. Good start, Woods.
Yeah, it's
Good
been
start.
really fun so far this NFL season.
I assume
How many reasons were there to be upset last night? Were there like 100 reasons?
200 reasons.
200
yeah,
reasons.
That's a lot
Oh.
of reasons to be upset.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
I'm guessing that's not 200
On the
quarters
first
either.
game.
Yeah. Bro, they handed him that game. They literally. Kadarius Toney said, I am investigating him. If I'm the league, you know how they're busting all these players for gambling on games? I'm taking a look at him. My eye in the sky is squarely on that dude. He looked like he'd never played football before.
You know, young guy at Arrowhead Stadium in
Give
front of all
me
those
an
people, a little
effing
nervous,
break.
a little nerves.
I mean, the one that's the pick six. You catch that ball, literally. He runs, cuts out, cuts right. Ball hits him right in the hand. They have the still shot.
The still
of it.
shot.
Oh
This-
my god!
I love that one. This turned into a pick six.
It
Patrick
was
Mahomes
right in his
couldn't have
hands.
put it in a better spot. That is exactly where the quarterback is told. You want to throw it right here to perfection,
At
in
hives.
stride, right where his hands are. I mean, he could have gained. Might have gotten the first down. He had a couple guys on it, but because the throw was so good, he could have made a move and maybe even gotten the first down there. And instead, he turned it into a touchdown for the other team.
This is unbelievable. This is just unbelievable. I hate the NFL, and I said it. Remember how much I said all week? 4.5, man. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. It seems like a trap game. And look, a lot of credit goes to the Detroit Lions. They did what they had to do. Also, some of the worst coaching I think I've ever seen in the NFL. And I get that it's week one, and you have the canvas isn't entirely used yet. I think some of those calls are different. Week 8, week 16, certainly. It was like, it was good, entertaining football. There's no question about it. It was really good, entertaining football. But, man, if you're Kadarius Toney, I don't even know how you look your teammates in the eye.
I'll tell you
That was
one.
hor- that
I'll
was
tell
the
you
worst.
one person who didn't participate in that game yesterday that was a winner. Eric Bieniemy, the former offensive
Yeah. He's
coordinator
with
of the
the
Chiefs. He's
Commanders
with the
now?
Commanders now. And all of a sudden, he's gone, and the Chiefs' offense looks a little out of sync, out of sorts yesterday.
And you know what I didn't realize until the game started? Who was calling plays for them? Matt Nagy. But it's not Matt Nagy's fault. It is Kadarius Toney's fault. I mean, they dropped so many balls. Oh, my God.
I saw everyone saying, Chris Jones, the defensive tackle, is holding up for the Chiefs. Well, they're going to have to pay him now. The defense gave up 14 points.
Right.
It wasn't really on the defense that the Chiefs lost that game yesterday.
He definitely helps, though.
I mean, he helped, as
beast.
does any good player, but you feel pretty good. If you're a Chiefs fan and you say, hey, our defense is going to give up 14 points.
We're winning this game. We
Don't
have
give
Patrick
up a pick
Mahomes.
six. We
Yeah.
got Patrick Mahomes. We're
We're
at
good.
home. You expect the Chiefs to score about 30 or 40. That's a blowout win. It wasn't on the defense. It was on the drop balls. Obviously, they've lost a lot of good playmaking receivers, and having Travis Kelce out didn't help. That's for
And
sure.
The other thing, too, is when we got off the air, I was assuming Travis Kelce was going to make the jump. Like, he was not ruled out by the time we got off the air, I don't think. So I was like, he'll play. It's Travis Kelce.
They played it pretty coy.
They did.
It felt like
They played it Mike
felt
McCoy.
like he was
Paulie, pull this for tomorrow. If they lose, I will sound like a jackass. I'm fine to do it. The numbers, I looked at those numbers and I went, insane. What am I thinking about here? That dude is going to be ready to play. They're going to have them ready to play. I know, again, Kelsey's out. I think they're going to be okay. He was a maybe. He was still a maybe at that point.
I mean, the last report pretty much said he had no chance to play.
What time did that last report
like
come out?
4:45, about 35 minutes before the game.
Sucks. First, I've actually never met anyone that's gone out week 1 of a survivor pool. Never in my whole life. I'm the first one. I mean, plays up great for the air, but holy crap, does that suck?
I think,
so who gets my money now? Do I just send 50 to
You
Paulie?
hold it, and
I
you
hold
just
it
Venmo
for
whoever
a winner?
wins it.
yeah, until the end. But I do think that it's going to be more and more common. As parity reigns in the NFL, it's so much harder to pick winners on a week-to-week basis. I mean, even straight up.
I mean, if the Super Bowl champs at home against Detroit aren't a lock,
Heck, you could. I mean,
Who
college
is?
is much easier with all the gimme games. But even if you were in a college survivor pool, I bet a lot of people would have picked TCU last week.
Bro, they barely get money lines in college. It's all spread. And you know, when you're talking 38.5 point
Right.
spreads, I usually end up just taking the points in college football, and it works out a lot of the time, but I mean, there's some where you're like, please give me the money line.
Picking football is getting harder
It's getting
and harder
and
every
harder,
year.
and
though.
the NFL last year murdered me. So I if this is any indication, it should be a really fun year.
All right, let's take a quick timeout. We'll come back. I still want to get the story. Well, obviously, you made back that money and more with the lucrative commercial cash
Extremely lucrative.
that you should have gotten yesterday. And I want to hear about your commercial shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were telling us before you left that you were a little nervous about having to, appear on camera, and you had a line that you had to read. And I have not heard any of the details about how this went
Wait
yet
till you
yesterday.
hear what else I had to do.
So we will we'll find out about Woodsy's commercial shoot. I want to talk more about the game, the strategic decisions late in the fourth quarter as well last night. So we'll get to all of that coming up next with Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. You can tune in to Kickoff with Boomer Esiason and Mike Valenti tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. here on 97.3 The Fan. Every week, Boomer and Valenti preview the entire slate of NFL games, analysis from Boomer, picks from Mike, biggest stories in the league packed into 1 hour, always live and always on the free Odyssey app. And we actually got Boomer's reaction to your Survivor pick selection from yesterday. There it was. There was Boomer. Wait, you picked the Chiefs?
Yeah, Boomer, get a load of this. Survival pool.
Week 1.
Game 1.
$50.
Game 1.
My idea, by the way. My idea to do the Survivor pool.
Aren't you the notorious like gambler on this show? Like, you know all the lines
I don't-
and
Yes, I guess that you could call me the, quote, notorious gambler on the show.
well, it isn't me and it isn't
You
Ben.
know Billy Walters, let's just say that.
I don't.
You could have won that game, though. Let's be fair.
We didn't even have to go against the spread.
No,
You
nothing.
just
It's a
picked
winner.
One winner.
That's why. I mean, I was like, that's a no-brainer. They're going to.
A lot of the experts I saw were going, at least with the points, the 4 points, they were going with Detroit.
People like to. I overthought it, man. I just did. Maybe I didn't. My gut told me it was a trap game, and I said, what do they know? Because it feels like they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. Now, and that's, Kelsey is Kelsey. He's really, really good. But again, Patrick Mahomes played a really good game, put the ball where he needed to put the ball in clutch situations, and his receivers did not come through. I mean, that's one of the worst games I've ever seen by a professional athlete.
Based on watching the Chiefs the past few seasons, when they got the ball back in the fourth quarter, with a chance to drive for a winning field goal or a touchdown.
No question.
Didn't we all think the Chiefs were going to win that game?
I really wasn't sweating it that much.
And then they've got their 2nd and 20, they're pushed back, then it's 4th and 25. But there's still more than 2 minutes left, and they've got all their timeouts left.
Why didn't they boot that ball down the field, Ben?
It's the big question. And I saw, Andy Reid took a lot of heat for gambling on 4th and 25 in that situation in his own territory. I will say this. The throw was on target. It was another drop pass. Could have been a first down.
Yep.
Even if you fail, though, you haven't lost the game. You still have your timeouts. You can still get the ball back. We've seen Patrick Mahomes move down a field in like 20 seconds all the way down the field. So you could still get the ball back and win that game, even if you fail. So I'm actually okay with the decision to go for it and be aggressive there. Do you know only about 1 out of every 3 drives in the NFL results in a 3-and-out? So if you punt to the other team, you're counting on a 1 in 3 chance that you even stop them. All they need is a first down to win it, which is what Detroit ended up doing in the end. They got their first down to win it. So, and even if you do stop them, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to go down the field and score to win that game. So punting essentially means that you've got about a maybe 20, 25% chance of winning the game at that point. Is that really worse than going for it on 4th and long? I mean, is it that crazy? Because if you make it on 4th and long, you're in really good shape. You're in their side of the field. You got a first down and 10. You control the clock. You control the rest of the game. You can kick a field goal maybe on the last play of the game. Your odds of winning just shot up probably well above 50% if you convert. So I'm actually not that, opposed to going for it in crazy situations there. But I did see one scenario on Twitter that really had me thinking, and it only applies because the Chiefs were down by a single point.
Yep, 1 point.
Late in the game. And the one thing you don't want to get into, as I just said, is a situation where the other team can win the game with a first down, because it's not that hard to get 1 first down in the NFL. It's exactly what the Lions did. But a guy tweeted yesterday, Steve Ryder, hear me out, 4th and 25. Kansas City should have stepped out of bounds on their own 9-yard line. So essentially gone backwards about 20 yards. Why does that make sense? He says, well, then Detroit could not milk the clock. They would have had to either score a field goal or a touchdown in that situation.
Oh.
And then, so let's say they get a field goal. Then Kansas City gets the ball back, still with plenty of time, down 4.
Yeah, they got all their timeouts.
Or even if they score a touchdown, you're down 8, and you could still go down and score and get the 2-point conversion and force overtime.
That's a damn good
But the
point.
first down, the scenario where you kneel on it that happened at the end of the game, would have been taken away from the Detroit Lions. I've never seen that.
Do you think that that's something that coaches in the moment actually even think of?
I would.
That's easy after the fact.
Yeah, it would be tough in the moment. Now, if you could think about it beforehand, like, okay, well, what's our strategy here? Well, we're down 1. We got 4th and forever, but we're on our own side of the field. We could punt, but then all they need is a first down. We win it. What if we stepped out of bounds on the 9? Because then they can't get a first down to keep the clock going.
What if you let them score?
You could let them score in the first play, or even if you use your timeouts and force a field goal, then you can win the game.
Yeah,
it's hard. The red zones, it's harder to get 9 yards in the red zone than it is 10 yards at your 30-yard line when you got the whole field to work with. So in that sense, you've got a lot of advantages playing towards you. Now, you're not going to be able to win it with a field goal anymore. You're going to need that touchdown to win. But hey, you're in a desperate situation. It struck me as a potentially viable strategy in the future for a team that is down only by a single point. You can't really do it. If you're down 2, then all of a sudden you give a touchdown, you're down 9. You can't get back into it. But in that scenario where you're down 1 point, it did make some sense, and I thought it was an interesting strategy.
I mean, I guess they could still take a knee, though, in the red zone.
But you got your timeouts. You can't get a first down. So
run back there, take a knee.
I mean, even if they ran 3 plays at the 9 and got stopped, you timeout. There's a minute 45 left.
Kick the field
then you
goal.
got to kick the field goal.
Yeah, that makes
and now
sense.
you're getting the ball back on a kickoff down 4 with a minute 30 still left on the clock to go down
if they
in the
score
field
a
and win
touchdown,
it.
you still have time.
You could still go down and get the touchdown and 2-point conversion.
Not the worst thing I've ever.
Overtime.
Not the worst thing.
Interesting thought I saw on Twitter last night.
I don't blame Andy Reid for not thinking about that.
Not at all. That would have been way outside of the box thinking. But it was interesting that I saw that.
Hey, listen, the NFL the product is amazing. It really is. It doesn't let you down unless you gamble on it. That game was a really, really good game, good pace, the whole thing, and it was a pretty nice intro for the NFL.
Is the product as good though? As a quality vehicle from Sedano Ford?
Well, no, there's no question.
Let's find out about Woodsy's commercial shoot right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Through Oil Change. 15-minute instant drive-through oil change. Got a few problems here, guys. One of them is this crash on northbound at 5 before the Coronado Bridge. Looks like that may have been cleared over to the right shoulder. Also an accident on the Tamarack Avenue off-ramp, southbound 5, and northbound side of the 15 just before Miramar Way. There's a collision over to the right shoulder. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Drive-Through Oil Change Centers. You don't have to get out of your car, and it usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for discounts. Locations nearest you. Valvoline Oil Change Centers are open 7 days a week. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Just one more note here on the survival pool. We got a couple of polls out just asking the audience what they think, if we should allow Woodsy to buy back into our survival pool after he was eliminated 1 game into the season. I don't know if this is surprising or not, but different results from Twitter. They say absolutely not. They don't.
Right.
They don't like you.
Yeah, they hate me.
YouTube is a little bit more in your favor.
More friendly.
55%.
Okay.
Says
Well, you
yes,
took your
let him
shirt
back
off
in.
for YouTube, so
I
That's
did.
true.
does kind of sway the audience a little bit, I think.
I'm out. I'm going to bow out.
Now, here's
gracefully.
a pool. Is it a survival pool, like Paulie says, or a survivor pool?
Sure, it's either or.
I think survivor pool.
I think you're split.
We don't need a poll on that one. That's fine.
No, you're good.
All right, so you took off immediately after
It's
the show
called a
yesterday.
survival pool.
Survival.
On Yahoo, where we're doing it, survival, not survivor.
Yeah, I think they both work.
Well, they don't want to run afoul of that reality TV
That's
show.
true. That's true. Very true.
Get a lawsuit or something from Jeff Probst. All right, you left right after the show yesterday.
Yep, I had to go to
hustled
Mesa.
out of here.
Yep.
Went down.
Turns out I had plenty of time.
Went down to, well, I told you when I did my commercial shoot, a lot of waiting around in a commercial shoot as they reset the scenes and everything. Give us your story, though. How did it go for you?
So it went really well. I got there, and I was one of the first people there. Go figure.
Crazy. Woods,
and
a little earlier than everybody else.
Our sales rep, M. Peter, is his name. His name is M. He goes by M. I don't know what his real name is.
We've never really, I'm always too afraid to ask. Why would you go by M?
Yeah, S. Lee Woods would be mine.
S. I'd be B.
S. Steve. B.
Stephen
Stephen Higgins.
Higgins.
P. Thomas.
P. Thomas we've talked about, which is great. P. Thomas Reindl sounds like a movie director.
Yeah.
So he said to
Like
me.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes,
Yeah.
like M. Night Shyamalan, Ben. He says to me, wear your 97.3 The Fan shirt. And I said, I don't know that I have one. He said, well, you have to wear the letters. Okay. He said, if you have a collared 97.3 The Fan shirt, wear that. And they made them when it was a brand new station. And the material that they made them out of, I think it was made for big sills. It was like shiny, looked like a cheap shark skin suit. You know what I mean? It's like this shine. They're horrible.
It had the old
some sort of polyester
logo.
blend.
It had the old
blue
logo.
and white.
He was all in.
Like
on
Adam
those.
gave us each one when
And
we
I
first
threw
got
mine in the
here.
garbage, like the day I got it.
Never touched it since.
So I have a T-shirt that just says 97.3 The Fan. It's brown and yellow across. And I said, and you're sure I have to wear this? Yeah. Okay. So I show up in it. Everybody else.
Now, who is everybody else?
So you got Emily from Rock 105, my beloved, love her. You got my absolute.
It's a bunch of radio.
Yes,
DJs.
radio people that are also doing endorsements. You got D-Rock, who is an absolute legend in San Diego. You got Boy Toy Jesse, who is like.
Jesse Lozano,
He's
my
the
man.
GOAT.
I love Jesse.
He's the GOAT. And it's the four of us, and we're hanging out, and I have great relationship with all those people. They're all phenomenal. I love them. We're all competition, but it doesn't matter. I root for their success. They are fantastic human beings. So we're chopping it up.
That's when it's fun.
That's when it's fun. Telling some radio stories and how are you guys doing? Well, we're doing pretty well. And
That didn't hurt, did it?
No, it didn't hurt.
Didn't hurt, Woodsy.
Couldn't actually be doing better.
Didn't hurt at all. And they are all in just normal, cool clothes.
Oh.
All of them.
And you're in a
I'm in a station
brown
logoed t-shirt with my skinny, pale white arms. The sleeves come up to. They're like half sleeves almost. It's
a
horrible.
little short and tight on the sleeves.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, I know you. You brought backup clothes
Yeah,
in case.
they wouldn't let. M. Peter said I wasn't allowed to wear them.
Oh.
I had to wear the station shirt. So I was already started to sweat. I go, well, this isn't fair.
There it is on the YouTube chat.
Probably
Yeah,
put it on the
everybody's
YouTube.
got nice
Yeah,
clothes.
nice clothes. I'm looking good,
stylish, ready for camera.
And there's sports load Woods. Okay? So then the director grabs me and he goes, come with me. Takes me into the service bay where I go into the service bay of Sedano Ford, which, by the way, looks like a ballroom.
Yeah, it's brand new.
It's unbelievable. The floors are beautiful. It looks like the room in The Shining where he's sitting at the bar. It's stunning for a service bay. He goes, all right, man, so here's what you're going to do. I need you to take a couple steps toward the camera. I had to do a
walk and
talk.
Walk and talk.
So I had to do 2 steps, then, hey guys, it's Woodsy from 97.3 The Fan. I support local and I support San Diego. That's
How
why-
else would they have known you're from 97.3 The Fan?
Right, exactly. It's not like I had a giant shirt with the logo on it that's skin tight. Right. They never would have known, Paul.
Maybe that's his punishment. He just has to wear that shirt for the whole show.
Oh my God. And then I had, that's why I'm with Manny Sedano Ford in La Mesa, right? Pretty easy. I had to do about 7 takes, maybe. All right, try it this way. Give me a point at the end. Give me a wink at the end. I'm like, my wife's going to hate. She hates my greasy wink, she calls it. So that may make the final cut. So then I do that. It's over with. Then you got to wait around. Everyone does their cool stand-ups, leaning against cool cars. And I'm in my shirt still. And then we have to wait for the GM to do his piece. And then Manny comes in. Manny is the best dude. Got to hang with him for a while. But it was cool, man. It was cool seeing all the other radio people and, commiserating and telling stories. And so it was a good experience. I don't know how the final product's going to be. I'm going to look like ass. I know that.
You'll be glad to know that in television nowadays, they teach us that the walk and talk to nowhere doesn't work anymore. It's very 80s. Like, where are you going? Why are you taking 3 steps for no reason whatsoever? If you're going somewhere, fine. Like, hey, I'm walking over here to show you something. That's still okay. But the random walk and talk to nowhere is very like 25, 30 years ago on television.
Very much.
Yeah.
But I was glad to do it, and I highly recommend. I mean, look, there's also about a 90% chance that I'd leave, this weekend I've got a new Bronco from Manny Sedano Ford. No kidding. My lease is coming up on my car. It's time. I've been wanting that thing forever. It was a bit of a flex, and they're filling out a credit app while everyone else was waiting and doing their stand-ups. I was filling out my
You idiots
stuff.
are just here for the commercial, huh?
Oh, you guys aren't buying a car today? Oh, that's cool. I am. Hope things get better for you. And I'm filling out all our stuff and now working through that part of it. But they've been amazing, man. I've been texting with the guy and getting him everything he needs. But yeah, there's a pretty good chance I end up with the brand new Bronco from Manny Sedano Ford. It's It was a good experience. It was fun. I liked seeing those people. You realize like we're all really in this together. You don't have to be jerks, even though you're in competition. They do different shows than we do. We're not the same. But I got to tell you, one of them was grilling me pretty good about what we're doing and how we've been successful, and I had no problem sharing it. I just said, this is what we're up to, and it's all working out for us. Our audience is incredible.
Not
the
hiding
best
your
part,
trade secrets or anything?
No,
Yeah.
the best part though. So we're outside, and I'm going to put Boy Toy Jesse on the spot here. This is incredible. We're standing outside. We're talking to Manny Sedano, and he's like, "Hey guys, first of all, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for doing this." And he's our client, right? And I go, "Dude, no, thank you, man. Thanks for having us and giving us, the opportunity to endorse your business." And Boy Toy Jesse, my man Jesse Lozano, goes into a full-on spiel. And I mean a full-on spiel. Manny, as someone that's been born and raised here and blah, blah, blah. And I looked at him. He goes for about 3 minutes. And I looked at him. I go, "Why don't you shut the F up?" Just like that. And he started dying laughing. And we're walking inside. And I go, "Hey, remember, being born somewhere isn't a skill. Settle down. Just relax. The rest of us are good here too, bud." And he was cracking up. But he went into full salesman mode.
Schmoozy radio.
Schmoozy radio guy. And I go, "Are you out of your mind?"
It really is something that every other radio person that I've ever met can do except for me. I'm the only non-schmoozer in radio that I think I've ever met.
Yeah, I can see that. But it was awesome, man. It really was a fun day, and glad I did it, of course, and hopefully end up with a new whip out of it. And but I'm beyond terrified for when the commercial comes out. Beyond. I don't look.
It's
cool.
out of your hands now.
I don't look cool. I don't look good. I'm not confident in it. I'm going to look like a clown. Our audience will remind me of that. I know that, so it will live for a long time. But I'm glad I got it done. Go to Manny Sedano Ford and buy a car. But M.
Reach out
Peter,
to old Manny and see what channels will this be
right?
on.
But M. Peter with the "you have to wear the station" shirt, it's just ridiculous.
Oh, I hope we get it on Channel 10. That would be fun.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
All guests on
I'm the only one in it. Everyone else looks cool as hell.
All guests on Ben and Woods appear on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. It'll be Bob Scanlan on that hotline when we return. A little early Friar Friday guest as the team opens a series in Houston tonight. That's coming up next year. Ben and Woods on the Fan. This hour, Ben and Woods, brought to you by the Golf Mart. Going to jump into some Friday talk a little bit early today. Padres and the Houston Astros open a 3-game series tonight at 5:10. Now, I don't believe the game will be on local television. It's an Apple Plus game tonight, although you can listen. Remember, you can switch the audio over and listen to Jesse and Tony. Tony was talking about, he had a wild story. He was trying to find his studio where he was doing the show yesterday from Houston, and like the Uber dropped him off, and he got lost and ended up walking like 15 minutes in the sweltering humidity the wrong way, and then had to get another Uber back to the place where the Uber let him off the first time so he could make the show. So it is hot. It's sticky. Of course, they have a roof there at Minute Maid Park, which makes things a little more pleasant. And joining us right now from Houston, Texas, is one of our absolute favorites covering the San Diego Padres, Bob Scanlan, with us here on a Friday on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, guys. How are you today?
Doing well, buddy. Back in your old stomping grounds there, huh?
Yeah. I spent some time over here with the Astros. Definitely, some good memories over here. I love the city. So I guess I can say that about a lot of organizations.
Yeah, that's
when
fair.
you bounce around from team to team and you ruin a bunch of teams and they get rid of you, and so another person gives you a chance. You get a chance to see a lot of cities that way.
Yeah, much like radio.
Can't be a way to do it.
Yeah, much like radios, I can say the exact same thing, Scan. Well, first of all, thanks for taking the time this morning. We certainly appreciate it. I know the season certainly hasn't gone the way any of us would have liked. I'm just really got the blues. I've been talking about it all week. Just the lack of playoffs that will almost certainly elude us here. It's kind of a tough pill to swallow, man.
Wow, it really is. It's stunning. And it's just one of those things, too, where all season long you just feel like there have been so many ups and downs, and yet this team had continued to rebound from so many just gut punches all season long, right? But the next day they come back and win a good game, and you're thinking, okay, they haven't given up, and this is going to be it, and some exciting wins. And you think, okay, this is going to launch it. This is going to be the turning point. How many times do we say that over the season? And it just never got legs. It just never turned into that momentum-changing win or comeback, or it just never carried over. If you told me at the beginning of the season that this team going into September would have not ever won more than 3 games in a row, I would have said you're out of your mind.
Yeah, you're crazy.
It's just been a really frustrating and disappointing season in so many ways, and I know it's the players feel that way, the coaches feel that way, the entire organization does, because there were such high expectations, and it's not a case of people not caring, people not trying, people not putting the work in. It's nothing like that. It just hasn't worked out for a myriad of reasons, and it's just been a very frustrating situation, no doubt.
Bob, I want to ask you, because I think you're as qualified to answer this as anyone who's not a current player or coach on the San Diego Padres, because you've been in Major League clubhouses before, and you're in this one covering the team as much as anyone, asking questions, pre and post game, talking to people almost every single day, traveling with the team. I get a lot of mixed messages as to clubhouse chemistry with these Padres. From a lot of people, I say, yeah, they get along. They like each other. It's not an issue at all. Then I also hear stories like, well, it has to be an issue. I mean, you look at the team, and the sum of the parts is less than what it should be, and that's usually a sign that something is not going well behind the scenes. What have you kind of just observed, given your experiences and your up close view of these guys and how they've come together this season?
Yeah, you're right, Ben. There have been so many different stories that have come out, right? And I think it's always easy to start pointing fingers at that and blaming the clubhouse chemistry when things aren't going well, and you see one little incident and it turns into this giant thing. Oh, there's discontent amongst this player and that player, and all that. I honestly haven't seen any of that. I've not seen any clubhouse. Usually, look, even in the best of teams, there's usually something that happens over the course of a season where a little scuffle somewhere, or something happens and it kind of blows over. But that's what happens when you've got a bunch of guys, type A personalities together over the course of almost 8 months. But I haven't seen any of that this year. I've not seen any guys sniping at each other, taking cheap shots or finger pointing, none of that. I've seen a content clubhouse. I've seen guys since the beginning who have been wanting to do well, realizing they're not doing as well as they expect of themselves and as of them as a group. They've tried the team dinners, and they did different events, and I feel like I've watched a clubhouse that try to do everything it possibly could to bring themselves together. And so I don't think it's a thing of these guys just don't like each other, but that's a totally different issue, isn't it, than what goes on between the lines.
Sure.
And there's some classic examples of that. You look at the Oakland A's teams of the 70s. They were notoriously hated each other off the field, and they'd have fights in the clubhouse and the dugout and stuff. But still, when they stepped on the field and got between those white lines, they had a common goal. They knew what each other was capable of, and they had each other's backs in those situations. And I'm not saying that this team does not have that, but for whatever reason, to your point, it just hasn't clicked on the field. And what the explanations for that are, I'm sure there's, everybody's got their own answer. But I've not seen a clubhouse that's been ununited or guys that have, started to blame each other in any way through the course of the season, which I give them credit to. And I give credit to also this coaching staff and Bob Melvin for, basically trying to keep these guys on board all the way to the stretch. It's just not come together for them for whatever reasons.
Talking to our pal Bob Scanlan here on Ben and Woods this morning, and we had a good conversation with Jesse Agler, as we always do, and I asked him the other day. I said, what do you do after a season like this, Jesse? If you're in charge, do you autopsy it? Do you cut it open? Do you dig deep? Do you every team does like the exit interviews and things like that. Like, what could we have done better? And what all of that, those things, and they'll do that certainly. But if you're the top brass here on the San Diego Padres, are you looking back a lot? I know you got to move forward. I know there's bodies that need to be replaced. I know that
looking back is part of the process, I think.
Moving forward. Shouldn't it be part of the process? And Jesse said, no, I honestly would kind of put my head down and just plow forward, and wanted to get your take on that.
That's interesting. I guess I'm more of a reflective type guy by nature in terms of looking back on things and not to, just wallow in what could have been or should have been or anything like that. But definitely, I think it's important to take a look at what decisions were made and how things were, why decisions were made, and if things worked, why they worked, if things didn't work, why they didn't work. Because I always feel like there's something to be learned, good, bad, or indifferent, over the course of, both in game. I mean, I'm just thinking about it as a picture of myself, like back in my career. Like every game I walk out and I evaluate that game. What could I have done differently? What was the turning point in that game? Why did that not go as well? Sometimes you look at something and you're thinking, oh, it's obvious it was the bases loaded triple you gave up. No, actually it wasn't that. It was the 2-1 pitch that I made to this guy early in the count where I should have gone with a different pitch, and it put me behind 3-1, and then I was really behind the hole. And the next guy, it was the 1-0 offering. That, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's actually, there's something else that sort of led to that, and not the obvious triple with the bases loaded. There are a bunch of little things I could have done better along the way. And so I would do that with each game. I would do that with each month. I would do that with each season, and just sort of reflect, okay, what were the little things I could have done different? What the broader things I could have done different in terms of my training, in terms of my personal prep? At this point of the season, I should have looked back and realized I was starting to fatigue, and I didn't see the warning signs. And so I kept going, and I started this downward cycle, whatever it is. You look back, and positive things as well. Boy, I did this well. So I would be shocked if, as an organization, I didn't do the same thing in terms of, how did we put our roster together? How did we put our bullpen together? What worked in our starting rotation? What were some assumptions that we made that didn't pan out? Because you have to make certain assumptions each year, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. What were the nice surprises, and why did those surprises happen? So I think you have to go through all those steps and try to do it as objectively as you possibly can, to try to find out, where were my blind spots this year? What did I not see that could have been done better coming into this season? What did I see and actually worked out really well? What were the positives? Why did our starting rotation still end up with the second best earned run average in all of Major League Baseball at this point? What did we do well to turn Blake Snell around? What did we do well to have Seth Lugo have the season that he's having? What did we do well to make the adjustments behind the plate, and now we've got Campusano and Sanchez doing really well? What happened with Ha-Seong Kim this year that he became an even better infielder and turned the corner at the plate and is, basically almost like a team MVP when it's all said and done? What went well with Fernando this year, where he missed the first 20 games, and he's going to end up with 23 home runs, closing in on 80 or 90 RBIs on this. what worked, what didn't, and I think you've got to try to be as objective as you possibly can in doing that. And sometimes that's the hard part, right? Because we all have our own personal bias of what we think we did or what we didn't do. So hopefully some of that comes in and you learn from it, because that's what every one of these experiences are, and you try to learn from it and make yourself better for the next season.
Talking to Padres broadcaster Bob Scanlan. And Bob, let's talk about Blake Snell's Cy Young candidacy. He'll be on the mound tonight to open the series. And part of me goes, hey, in a year where no one has really stood apart, Blake has been the most dominant starting pitcher. It's got to be him. And part of me also says, am I biased because I like Blake and I watch him so much? They're not really going to give it to the guy who's walked the most batters in baseball on a team that's not even going to make the playoffs. Where do you kind of stand on the Blake Snell Cy Young argument right now?
Well, for me, he's the guy, and to your point, I try not to be biased about it as well, right? Because how can we not be? We see the guy every day, but I think there's also a bias in terms of what we do see of him on the mound every fifth day and what he's done over his last 20 outings, which has been objectively better than anybody else in baseball. I mean, and not by a little bit. When you look at the earned run average, especially what he's done over the last 20 games, it's just no one's even close to doing it. So if you want to look at the one blemish, it's the walks. But at the same time, the bottom line is, are those walks scoring? No. He's stranding them because the stuff is so nasty, and he's punching guys out. And the fact that he has so many opportunities over the course of the game to potentially implode if he wants to, because there's runners on second and third, there's runners on the bases are loaded, there's runners on base all the time because of the walks. And yet he's calm, he's cool, he's collected, and when it matters, he bears down and he punches guys out and gets out of the jams. And to me, that makes it even more impressive. So, look, it's so interesting nowadays, right? Because there's so many different numbers that writers have to look at internally with all the whips and the FIPS and the WOBAs and all these other analytic numbers. But the bottom line is Blake Snuff has just been dominant. And yeah, there's some other great candidates out there, but for me, I'm not going to let the walks get in the way of what in every other category has been the best pitcher in the National League. Do you guys see it any differently?
Not really. I think Steele has a really great case as well, and I know that team success has a lot to do with it. And I know there are still guys that look at the win-loss and go, "Wow, that's unbelievable." But I think Blake's pretty deserving of it as well, because if you're talking about nastiest pitchers, I think it's Blake Snell.
I'm just going to say it. Blake is too chummy with Don and Mud, and that is going to hurt him.
Yeah, I think so too.
With the voters.
And not chummy enough with us.
Yeah, exactly.
Spread the wealth a little bit, guys.
Are you guys jealous that you haven't gotten some tennis?
Yes.
Is that what this is all about?
Absolutely. We're jealous. Yes. Did you see yesterday when he's going to give him sunglasses just by making eye contact in the dugout?
Yeah, they know. They have telepathic.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So, Bob, what are you going to do tonight? You're not on. You're on Saturday and Sunday telecast, but tonight is just like Bob gets to watch the game, or?
Yeah. There's certain times where I need a break from the ballpark, and I'll stay at the hotel and watch. This might be one of those where I go to the ballpark and just find a seat, sit up in the press box, and get myself a bag of peanuts and watch the game. And sometimes it's actually fun because I spend so much time working to just go to a game and be a fan, where I can yell and scream and I can just enjoy the game and not be looking at it, analyzing, okay, what part do I need to get some video for this post-game, package or, whatever it may be. So, and I haven't spent much time in this ballpark as a fan. So, good chance I'll be over there just enjoying a ball game and cheering for the boys.
What's the Scan food situation at a game tonight?
Oh, I have
it's
no
more
idea.
than a bag of peanuts. I know that.
Yeah, it's more.
This is Scan. We're
drinking a beer tonight.
Scan
what are we doing?
can put it down. We've seen it.
Trim though.
Well, no, he can burn. He can burn it like no other, but he can put it back better than anyone I've seen in a press box.
Booze or food?
Food.
I don't think it's going to be a good look if I'm sitting there, 5 beers in the 6th inning, and I got my shirt off, even though the roof is all closed.
It's a great
and I'm
look.
catching somebody's home run.
That's a great.
That's what
look.
Woods would do in the press box.
That's what I would do in the press
Some
box.
barbecue sauce dripping down the front of your shirt.
Your hairy chest. Please enjoy yourself tonight, Bob. Enjoy yourself, buddy.
I will, guys. I will, no doubt about it. So, looking forward to seeing Blake do his thing and hopefully put another, stone in that foundation of him getting his second Cy Young. That'd be really fun to watch.
Thank you, Bob.
Guys, always fun talking ball. You have a great one.
Appreciate
Bob
it, buddy.
Scanlan on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Have you ever been to that ballpark?
No.
I have not either.
No.
With the Crawford boxes, the short porch there and left, the train way up top at the is that still there?
Yeah. It's not on my list. I don't like Houston. It's when you're from Dallas, there's a LA. There's a San Diego, LA thing. Like, people from Dallas don't like Houston. People from Houston don't like Dallas.
Did they get rid of the hill?
They got rid of the hill.
Okay, I thought so.
The flagpoles and the hill that were on the field.
The hill was nuts.
Until a
How
couple of
did
years
that
ago.
even get passed?
I mean,
that
that's
was
what-
absurd.
If you're the center fielder, you're like, what is it? We should put a ladder out there, too. I got to climb up. Maybe a big water slide. How about that?
Tires, like a tire run.
Yeah.
And if you're a hitter for the Astros who likes to, drive it to center field, you mean I've got to hit it 435 feet and up a hill and around a flagpole to get it out in center field? That seems real fair,
It's
guys.
way worse
Thank
for
you.
the fielder. Oh, my God. You're running full speed, and then you're like, oh, God, here comes this thing. Like running up the hill.
nightmare.
It's a nightmare. It's not on my list. I can probably, unless the Padres play the Astros in a World Series, I can pretty much say I'll never go there.
It's more. I'm with you though. It's more because of the city.
Yeah,
I just don't see myself in Houston. The ballpark. If you picked it up and moved it somewhere else, it looks like a nice.
Yeah, it looks
ballpark.
okay. Looks okay. I
Looks
just
great.
don't like Houston. I never have. I've never liked it. I've
been.
never liked going there. I've never liked visiting. I've just never liked it. It's just the thing. It's like a rivalry almost between the two cities. So people from Dallas are like,
I've been twice. It was hot and sticky both
Yeah, it
times.
sucks, dude.
For sure.
It sucks.
All right, we've got Don't Do This coming up next. I actually have a Do This involving two incredibly famous people from San Diego who don't acknowledge that they're from San Diego at all. It's weird. They're like the only two people on earth who don't want to say they're from San Diego.
We had a ball boy in the crosshairs last night, and we got to talk about that. This was a bad one.
All right, it's coming up next with Ben and Woods. We'll be right back after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. The Upper Hand Fantasy Podcast brings you the latest news and player insights to help you win and avoid any embarrassing league punishments, like having to wear
Under
Armour gear. Yeah. In-depth analysis, start-sit questions, everything you need for your fantasy team. Download Upper Hand Fantasy on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. I will start in the world of tennis in Don't Do This today. Women's semifinals last night at the U.S. Open, Billie Jean King USTA Tennis Center. Coco Gauff, the 6th seed, Karolina Muchova, the 10th seed, are in the second set. Gauff won the first set 6-4, I believe. Just won the first game of the second set when all of a sudden a commotion from the upper deck at the stadium court, Arthur Ashe Stadium court, start ringing. People are screaming, like interrupting the match. And as it turns out, there is a trio of climate change protesters who are wearing End Fossil Fuel T-shirts and are making a real ruckus. So pull the players off the court.
See that time to time in sports.
They do, and
NBA
usually
games.
it's a...
Remember the person didn't they glue themselves to the NBA court?
Well, here we go, because obviously they took some inspiration. They got 2 of them out of there really quickly. Security went up. Should only be, a minute or 2 disruption. And all right, you said your thing. Free speech. Yeah, let's move on. Let's get this match done. One of the guys of the 3 people glued his feet to the floor of the stands, and they were unable to remove him.
His bare feet
to the concrete floor of the Arthur Ashe Stadium. And so I'm not sure how they eventually, dissolved the glue, but it took 45 minutes to get him out of there, and they had to send the players back inside. They had to warm up again once they came back out. But the Don't Do This, in addition to wasting everybody's time, and I saw it was pointed out yesterday, which was brilliant. And I'm not opposed to environmentalism at all, but what they caused was an extra, hour of having to run all the stadium lights and everything, extending the entire night, using a ton more power than they would have had to last night at Arthur Ashe Stadium. It's not cheap to run stadium lights, if you've ever known that. That's a big energy suck. So what they did was actually incredibly counterproductive for what they're trying to achieve, which is less fossil fuel usage and, a better environment. You counterproductive, guy, and you wasted everybody's time last night.
And now you have glue all over the bottom of your feet.
That had to, eventually they just rip you off, and that had to hurt. Coco Gauff won. Good night for the Gauffs.
I saw your tweet.
And she will face Arina Sabalenka in the final. Tough one for Madison Keys. She won the first set 6-love. And she had, serving for the match in the second set. Couldn't finish it out. Ended up losing the second set and losing the third set, both in tiebreakers. And lost to Sabalenka. So the final will be Gauff-Sabalenka tomorrow at the U.S. Open.
I have not heard from our beloved Skip Schumacher about this, but it did happen in their stadium last night as the Miami Marlins, our beloved, took on the Los Angeles Dodgers, our not beloved. And Dodgers are up 3-0. It's the top of the 6th inning. Freddie Freeman strides to the plate. Mookie Betts is on base, and this happens.
Freddie dumps one fair just inside the line. On the right field line. Oh, the ball boy thought it was foul. He picked it up and threw it into the stands.
Sure did.
Oh, no.
Sure did. Yeah.
And Freddie does his dumb little dance.
His little dance. And the ball boy, then they let Mookie score. And Freddie gets the double, and the ball boy was like, my bad. Gave it like a cursory, like, my fault. And then
it's got to be the first thing they tell the ball people, right? Just make sure the ball is foul before you pick it up.
Yeah.
It's got to be number 1 on the list of do's and don'ts.
It's a bucket list for me.
Ball boy.
Yeah. I got to do Pod Squad that one time. That was a lot of fun.
Fire the T-shirt cannon.
Throw the T-shirts. I got to do the whole deal. That was a bucket list. But ball boy for a game. Now, the weird part about the Marlins ball boy, they're usually in uniform. He really wasn't. He was in, shorts and a T-shirt.
Casual. It was casual Thursday.
Yeah, casual Thursday. But he felt bad, and Jesus Sanchez came over and gave him a big hug and was like, bro, don't worry about it. They got their ass kicked anyway. They won the series. Yeah,
it was 10-0 Dodgers yesterday.
Yeah. At the time, it was 3-0, and they had a big game yesterday, but he felt pretty bad, and I saw
he
Robert
was just trying to save a run.
Yeah, he's trying to help his guys out, dude. Anyway,
now, if that was a fan in the stands who did that, you get ejected, right?
Yeah.
For touching a ball live in play.
I wonder if there's anyone in the Padres front office that could hook that up.
ball boy.
Yeah.
For a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like foul. You want to be down the line and
Yeah.
get the foul ones, not be the actual ball boy.
You guys should both do
No,
it.
I don't want to run it out.
Run
Oh, God.
to the umpires, the
No.
refreshed balls,
No.
and go pick up the ones behind home plate and
Now,
get rid of them real
the-
How
quickly.
about you two on each side?
Yeah, on each side.
all right,
I'll
do
be
it.
one of the bat boys.
The girls that do it at Peckham Park are awesome.
Yeah.
I watch them throw before the games.
Yeah.
Like
They can pick it. They can pick it,
sling
too.
it and they can pick
It's
it.
not an easy play. You got those caroms coming off the wall at high speeds.
That'd be a wreck. It'd be awesome.
You really don't want to have to roll all the way out in left
And
field.
then you have to
run
jog
and
out
run
there.
back. Or even worse, you go, hey Juan, can you just grab
Throw
that one
that
for
to
me?
me.
You just throw that back because we don't want me running all the way out there.
It's
That
a
would be
dream.
very embarrassing.
That would be a dream.
You
for
be
me.
down with Fernando. Go,
Yeah.
hey
Can you grab that?
Nando, can you toss that to me? Sorry, I missed that one.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
All right, finally a little do this for a Friday. This is a cool moment.
DD mega doo-doo.
Involving two San Diegans, but not necessarily proud San Diegans, because you usually hear both of these guys connected with other cities more commonly. Talking about Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam and Chris Chelios, former star for the Chicago Blackhawks. Apparently, they are good friends, and Chelios attended the Pearl Jam concert last night in Chicago at the United Center. And his friend Eddie Vedder, who went to San Diego High School here in San Diego, brought his friend Chris Chelios, who, a lot of people don't know this, went to Mira Mesa High School.
I had no idea.
Here in San Diego, onto the stage. And while they were on the stage, Eddie points up at the Jumbotron, and they show the announcement that the Blackhawks are going to be retiring Chris Chelios' number 7 this coming season. And he didn't know. It was a surprise to him, and the whole crowd started chanting for Chelly. And it was a really nice Chicago moment for two San Diego guys on the stage.
That claim Chicago. Yeah, that's exactly
And a
right.
lot of people, of course, associate Eddie with Seattle.
Sure.
Because of the grunge and the Pearl Jam thing.
Right.
But he went to high school here, as did Chris Chelios, who did not play hockey because they did not have hockey at Mesa High School
There's no ice anywhere in San Diego at that time.
back then, but he still went on to a Hall of Fame hockey career with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yep, that is a very, very good moment last night in Chicago. I missed them by about a week, so kind of bummed about that. I totally would have gone and taken Bo. We'll be leaving there for their next
You're
week.
the guy who's actually from somewhere else who
Claims
San Diego.
Yeah, and I lived in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys took Eddie and Chris's spots.
Good.
Like, oh, you don't
All
want to
right.
be San
You don't want
Diegans?
it?
We'll take
I'll
it.
take
We're
it.
fine to take that. Paulie, Seattle. You were Chicago. You
Yep.
came here, and now you're San Diegans.
That's right. That's right.
Kick them out. Bring you guys in. I think that's an upgrade, actually.
I
Not
I'll
really.
take Eddie and Chili
Not really.
over us any
That's
day.
don't and do this for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you guys trying to make San Diego not like me?
No, you're trying to make San Diego
I
not
feel
like
like-
you. Don't blame us
I
for
feel
your
like-
I'm just trying to knock some common sense into your
Correct.
head.
Common sense.
common sense.
Since when did
Uh-oh.
aliens are
Here we
among
go.
us become
Uh-oh.
common sense?
Here we
I don't
go.
understand
Here
this.
we go.
You're going to present more evidence when we come back.
We're not.
We'd like
No,
witness testimony.
We're not.
I'm going to put my feet up and listen.
Me too.
We got testimony.
I recommend you do the same. Listen for once.
Will you just open your mind
Open
up
your
a
mind.
little bit?
Yeah, just a little.
I can't not listen critically. You know me.
Okay.
Or I'll take a nap. One of the two. Coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Does this one not work?
That one works.
It does.
Yeah.
Very good.
So try to cup like this.
Yeah.
Pretty close to
like
it.
this.
Okay.
Like blah 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 blah. Don't not here and not here.
Yeah, like at a drive-through. You don't want to be
right here. Exactly. Exactly.
and just talk. Gotta yell.
Right. Yeah. You plus 10%. That's it.
Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile
Hot mic.
for you.
Somebody says hot mic. Hot mic.
Stop by.
Hot mic.
Granger,
Hot
the
mic.
ones
Hot
who get
mics.
it done.
I'm off.
Hot
On YouTube?
mics, hot mics, so loud. Hot mics.
AutoZone is
Hot
more than
mics,
a
hot
parts store.
mics, hot
It's where we
mics.
help you solve problems like, sorry I'm late, my
Hot
battery
mics.
died. And
I need a jump.
Yeah, everyone's saying it.
America's #1 battery destination.
We can hear you.
You can find
How?
the right
Hello.
battery at the right price. With options starting at
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
And we offer free battery
YouTube,
testing
hot
and charging.
mic.
Sounds
And then
low
when you
fidelity.
need
That's
parts
weird.
and
Oh, there we
help
go.
you need to
What
get
was
the
it?
job done right.
Hot mic situation. We didn't say anything bad, did we?
I don't think so.
Probably.
I
Gotta
do
figure it out.
want to let everybody know, since we were talking to Bob Scanlan earlier this hour, we didn't play Take on Woods, but we will have it for you coming up here in about 30 minutes at 8:10. So back it up an hour. You'll still have your chance to compete against Woods and qualify for a getaway to Las Vegas a little bit later. Last chance this week to qualify for our grand prize drawing. But apparently we're going in a different direction in this segment.
Yes.
I see a unfamiliar face in the studio. We will reveal all after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the premier auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Caltrans, reminding you to avoid the 5 for a faster ride. Friday, September 8th. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Meanwhile, no accidents to report, guys, but some road work caused me some headaches in the North County. This is southbound 15 Camino del Norte. Looks like the right lane's blocked, as well as Camino del Norte on-ramp to South 15. They're saying until 8 o'clock this morning, so do expect some congestion there. Beginning 9 p.m. Friday, that's tonight, you guys, southbound Interstate 5 will close between Interstate 8 and downtown San Diego until 5 a.m. Monday, September 11th. Use southbound 805 or southbound 163 to avoid delay through downtown. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
By the way, just because I like to be up on the breaking news, the United States is out of the Basketball World Cup in the Philippines. They
Quit
just
trying
lost
to
to
stall.
Germany,
I am so
113-111.
I'm so bummed.
I know you are. I know you're devastated that we lost to Dennis Schroeder's team. They have a couple of players named Wagner on their team,
Oh,
very
great.
German. But, the U.S. is out of the Basketball World Cup. Didn't feel like that was really an event that was moving the needle a tremendous amount in this country.
Forgot it was on.
But it's over now.
You know
for
what
the United
moves the
States.
needle is UFO talk.
It
That's
seemed to
what
yesterday.
moves the
I
needle.
have gotten more reaction to that segment than really anything we've done in a long time here
it's
on
a bad
Ben and
take.
Woods. Okay, well, yeah, okay.
That's
First
it.
of all, before you pipe in, who is this anyway? That you guys have brought into the
This
studio.
is Tier 1 Tyler, and he reached out to us yesterday after you went on your little spiel about how there's nothing out there.
Right.
There's no UFOs.
Right.
This is a joke.
I question your critical thinking.
Yeah, anybody that believes this is an idiot.
Moron.
And he goes, dude, I saw a UFO. Like,
Yes.
I remember it vividly.
yes.
And he actually works in the building,
He's
like
in the building.
on another floor. And I'm like, done. You're coming in tomorrow.
Sir,
Well, welcome in.
You can
Thank
welcome
you,
first
thank
of
you.
all, and I don't want to make anyone feel bad. I really don't. I'm not trying to say that you didn't see what you saw necessarily. I just logically it doesn't make sense in my mind. But share your story, Tyler, and people can make up their own minds.
Sure.
Okay.
based on your credibility.
So
sell it for us.
First off, I think it's funny because I grew up a big advanced stats nerd. So to be on the Padres flagship talking about UFOs, it's kind of funny to
Just
me.
like you dreamed.
Yeah, exactly.
If you ever want to send me your insight for advanced stats, I will take it and use it. I will give you full credit, of course, but hey, you can never have too much information.
The UFO is the ultimate fielding organization.
That's exactly
the team
right.
The team that has the best defense every year in baseball is the UFO.
That's exactly right. All right, so what happened to you, my friend?
All right, so grew up in Santee. Anybody that's familiar with that area, West Hills specifically, so the West End. Walking my dog around midnight, 12:30. Coming out West Hills Little League, go through that back entrance. I was going to cut through the campus, and I'm walking through the parking lot. It's me, my ex-girlfriend, we'll call her Olga.
Yeah.
Me, Olga, and my dog Sage, walking through the
Is
parking lot.
that really your dog's name, or is that a fake name too?
No, that's a real
Okay.
name. That's a real name.
I want to know what happened with Olga, but we can talk about that later. I like to dig into people's relationships.
So from the Little League fields
I know
to
it
the
right
West
where you
Hills
are.
campus.
Yep.
There's that parking lot.
Mhm.
I'm walking through the parking lot towards that little gated entrance into West Hills, and I see this, like, it's about 10 feet tall, a perfect circular shape. It's like a shadowy figure with like an aura
In the
around
sky or on the ground? Or
No,
what
it
are we
was,
talking
it
about?
was like hovering over the ground. You know
Okay.
where that house is on the campus?
Yes.
The ground.
Yes.
Groundskeeper.
Yeah, the groundskeeper.
It was kind of in between there and the left field of the varsity field.
Okay. I know
And-
exactly where that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played there many, many times.
Coached there. Yeah.
Yeah, many times.
And I kind of see it in my peripheral, and I like go to make eye contact with it. It takes off, like literally is speed of light.
Holy crap.
And it takes off. It didn't go up.
I got chills.
It didn't go up.
It went.
Yes. Parallel to the ground, straight towards like the. Yeah.
Are you all right? Were you on marijuana cigarettes?
No.
Were you on psilocybin?
Nope.
Mushrooms.
Nothing. That's psilocybin. Nothing.
Acid.
Nothing.
All right.
Nope.
Stone cold sober.
Yep.
Okay. Orb.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, so I had read another story yesterday.
Now, do you
of-
think was this something that you think could transport, or was it an actual like entity, the orb that
What
you
do you
saw?
mean?
Like, was this a life form, or was this a vehicle of some sort?
My guess would be vehicle.
Vehicle?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Oh, yeah, because
It just took off. It jetted off.
like
I could tell-
if an automobile was a circle.
Yes, exactly.
It, like accelerated away from
Yeah,
you.
speed of light, but I could tell which direction it went. It went towards the home plate area of West Hills, and it just vanished.
All
But
right.
it went
All right,
literally.
smart guy.
All right. So, what could it have been?
I don't want to I certainly there's a chance you saw what you thought you saw, and I can't tell you that you're wrong.
Here's the thing. So I look over at my girlfriend. I'm like, "Hey, did you see that?" She's like kind of timid and mumbled. She's like, "Yeah." And I look down at my dog.
Yeah.
I kid you not. She was 10 at the time. I'd had her my whole life. Every single one of her hairs were standing straight up.
Oh my God! Now see,
crap.
dude. Now that's the dogs know, man. Dogs absolutely
100%.
know. That is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Look, he's got hair standing on his arm. I'm freaked out.
Oh,
So I was
man.
reading yesterday about do aliens exist? And by the way, I had thank you for the reams of information that was sent yesterday. I was not able to get to. Well, any of it, but I did do some of my research yesterday, and I read, Ben, that a guy in the Navy said that he had seen an orb. An orb was what he saw floating inside a clear cube. Now, you never saw the cube, right? It was just
I
the
didn't see
circle.
the cube, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done a lot of research into it.
It was
So,
a Navy pilot,
it's-
Ryan Graves.
Tyler,
was his
it's
name.
it's
Yep.
your contention, belief that this object was otherworldly, not from the
Well,
planet
that's
Earth.
the thing. I don't know.
It's a
It was
UFO,
either
an unidentified
Okay.
flying
it was
object.
either made by our government or some other
Okay,
government.
well,
They're not telling us.
all right,
or-
Absolutely, there have been things of our world that people have not been able to identify that have shown up in the sky. Some have been proven later to be weird things like weather balloons or secret government satellites or rockets. And those UFOs absolutely do exist. My contention is simply that these UFOs are not traveling from distant star systems and solar systems.
Of course, that's your contention.
Yeah, you're
all
a
the
first-year
way,
grad student.
all the way here to come visit a Little League field in Santee.
It's not a Little League field. It's a high school field.
High
I had a home
school
run there. You know how
baseball.
hard it is to get one out of West Hills? Do you have any idea how hard it is to get one out of West Hills?
So they travel.
Left field, by the
they
way.
travel probably several lifetimes to get here, so they could see where Woods hit his home run
Yes.
in Santee. That's
Yes.
Didn't go to the population center. Or
You don't know
they
why.
went to Santee.
Maybe they got off course. Maybe they got off course. I mean,
Well,
so
Miramar is like right there.
Miramar's
too.
So
right
they
there.
have the advanced technology.
Miramar is right
to build
there.
this incredible orb that travels, probably at or close to the speed of light. Yet they got off course because, and of course, they ended up in Santee is where they ended up.
Miramar. Miramar's right there.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So you saw it. It scooted away. You get that. Everyone's had that feeling before.
Why didn't they say hi then if they came
They're
all the
scared.
way here?
They don't know. They're
But
scared.
why did they come here in the first place?
I don't know. Nobody knows. But the deal is,
Did you give off bad vibes, Tyler? That they didn't want to say hi to you?
They wouldn't have shown themselves.
Why not? Why not?
Exactly
Again, I
right.
just asked the question. Why wouldn't they show themselves
We don't
if they
know.
came all the way here?
we don't know. We don't know why
They went to
wouldn't.
all the trouble of traveling epic distances. I mean, epic distances. Even at the speed of light, it might have taken 2-3 lifetimes to get here. And only to briefly show up at a high school baseball field in Santee and then gone. That's it.
I believe it.
That was the whole journey.
I've seen so many things.
That'd be the worst
seen
trip
it.
ever.
Like, I've
Can
seen,
you imagine you
not
got
up
the
close,
alien
though.
kids in the back seat and you're going like,
Can you
all
turn
right,
his
we're
mic off? Just turn
traveling
his
to
mic off.
Earth.
He's making a fool of himself. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, but not you. His. I believe you because the dog is what really domes me.
Yeah,
out. The
that's-
dog, the hair on the dog's like standing up, like, oh my God, what was that? Dogs know they're massively intuitive.
That's what did it for me.
Huge-
My
Humans-
dog's hair stands up when there's a possum in the
sure,
backyard,
but
too.
this wasn't a possum. This was not a possum. This was an orb.
Yeah, and this is a Chow Rot Pit mix. She was a very smart,
man.
strong, very, very just good dog. Very
That's
good dog.
amazing. Well, I love it. I believe it. I fully believe it. I mean, you had and so after it was over, were you like pretty spooked for a while?
Yeah, very spooked. And, this is kind of like trending towards conspiracy talk a little bit, but there's, I don't know how much research you've done, but people that have been witnesses, like there's radiation poisoning that comes off of the
Yeah.
UFO. A lot of weird stuff happened through time.
Are you telling us you're radioactive?
I hope not.
Okay, just making sure because we let you into the building here.
Potentially.
But no, so you see Scar right here?
Yeah.
After the sighting, my dog, she started getting very angry, upset, violent, and
Which she'd never had before. 10 years
well,
you've had
she
her.
was. I don't want to call her aggressive, but she was protective before.
Yeah.
But of me and my family.
Sure.
She started. This is from her. She ripped like this apart. I'm lucky to have an
The
eye.
eyelid. Yeah.
And since she was my dog, I was like, I don't want to put her down.
Yeah, of course.
Like a week, 2 weeks later, she almost took my mom's hand off.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
so
we
it
had to-
changed her forever.
We had to put her down, and it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
No question.
Um,
That's
I'm
so
sorry
nuts.
about that. That is very sad.
And me and Olga.
You didn't.
Olga.
Did you get
We
aggressive too, though? And it was just the dog.
No,
you're
it was
okay.
just like
All right.
this is
Did
weird. I
Olga
can't
get
describe
aggressive?
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry?
did
Did
what
Olga get
happened with-
aggressive?
with
what
Olga?
happened there?
Well, we just.
Would she corroborate this story?
She doesn't like talking about it.
Convenient.
I've heard enough.
No.
Oh,
Son of
my
a bitch.
God.
You guys can meet her if you want. Well, you can't, but
Bro, I love it. An orb that he saw and it scooted away.
But yeah, so we were the perfect couple. We were gonna get I thought we were gonna get married and have kids. We were perfect, and then things started getting weird between us. Even too started, cheating on each other. I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Ended up breaking up, and yeah, it was just weird how all these weird things happened afterwards, and I didn't really piece all of it together until like I started researching the subject
Sure.
more and more, and it's weird when all the dots start connecting. It's just like I don't know how anybody can't believe in this.
I don't either. I don't.
Tom says to me, why are you assuming it's multiple lifetimes of travel for aliens? We don't know their technology. Could
Yeah,
be
we
similar
don't
to
know.
Marvel movies. A hole opens and poof, they're there, like a wormhole, and they can instantly travel across the universe. And that part of my skepticism involves, okay, if they have that advanced of technology that they can poof appear wherever they want, are they really going to just pop in for half a second, show themselves briefly to one person, and then they're gone again?
Yeah, they don't want
why
to
does
be
that make
seen
any sense?
necessarily.
But why were they here in the beginning, in
Nobody
the first
knows.
place?
Nobody knows.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Nobody knows.
I am excited though because Tom DeLonge. It's funny. He was my favorite musician growing up.
Yeah.
And it's just weird how there's just coincidences like that. I almost don't believe in coincidences anymore. But how he made it okay for people to talk about.
100%. He absolutely did. And I'll admit, when he came out with it, I was like, oh, he's got that good stuff. And then I was like, oh, he's not. He's like very passionate about it, very, very into it, has devoted a large portion of his life to investigating. We played that audio a couple months back from the guy that said, yeah, no, we've found things.
The ex-government official.
Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah, Department of Defense.
Yeah, crazy stuff. I love it. I love that story. You made the hair on my arm stand up this morning. Tyler, right?
Yes.
Dude, thank you for coming in. That was fantastic, and I'm sure we will debate this further.
We can talk about X-Woba next time.
X what?
X-Woba.
X-Woba, yeah. X-Woba. The aliens may be more easier to understand than X-Woba.
Maybe if they shot the Padres with their ex-Woba Ray,
Yes.
they would play a little bit better this season.
Please come down and teach these dudes how to hit with runners in scoring position next season.
Maybe they can hit with runners in scoring position. We just
Tyler.
sign them.
Now, are you going to work? You work here in the building?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna work from home today.
Oh,
nice.
you
You
came all the way in just
this?
for us.
What an
Brandon
angel.
Woods, of
What an
course.
angel.
Nice. I appreciate
I'm gonna go
that.
get him one of those T-shirts I was talking about earlier. I'll go find one of those for you. Thank you for coming in. That was rad.
Of course.
And Ben, I don't think he swayed at all. But listen, oh yeah, what year did this happen? This was
like 10 years ago.
10 years
I
ago.
don't remember exactly, but
okay.
2012,
13,
2013, 14.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that time runs together, doesn't it? Well, what do you think?
I am still a little unswayed at this point.
It's really
But I do appreciate you sharing your story with us, Tyler. And you have a very good weekend, sir.
Of course. You guys too. Thank you.
Mateo says that Ben has all the common sense on the show, clearly. Well, I mean, that's your opinion.
I just got a text from a prominent San Diegan who said, "What am I listening to?" My answer to that would be anything but talking about the Padres right now.
Yeah. Who's that prominent San Diegan? Mayor Todd Gloria?
Yeah.
Oh. He is prominent.
Yeah. All right, we will come back. We'll play some Take on Woods.
Yeah.
Second half of Ben and Woods still ahead. We've got Craig Elsten. We got Geoff Blum still coming up. All
Homer.
ahead here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Sunday Night Football features an NFC East showdown when Saquon
Yeah.
Would you care to share with the rest
Well,
of
I
us?
mean, who had the worst day yesterday? I took the Chiefs in our survivor pool. It was week 1. I got excited. The bright lights. I said, I just want to be in the action tonight as I'm watching the game. I'd already bet on it, but I wanted more action, apparently. I didn't want to wait, didn't want to pick the Ravens that everyone had picked. It was an easy win. I went against the grain, I guess, as it turns out, and I lost in Survivor Pool week 1. I'm done. I'm done for the year. Sucks. And, it is what it is. And then kids have been being so good. We asked them after school, so where do you want to go to dinner? You guys pick. And they said, In-N-Out. We said, all right, we can do In-N-Out. So,
when you leave the choice to the kids, you can definitely do worse. I will say that.
No question about it.
Congratulations on that victory.
Go down to In-N-Out, and we have a delicious meal. Everyone's great, and we leave, and we get home, and it's 5:30. And that means it's Dad's crunch time. This is, I got to get the kids in the bath, got to get them the hair brush, the teeth brush, all dialed in. That's my domain. That's my Coliseum every night. Bath time. I'm on it. All right, boys, let's go. Hannah walks in. She goes, where's my phone? And I go, I have no idea. And she said, I've lost my phone. And I said, okay. I said, well, look in your car. It's not in my car. I'm telling you, I lost my phone.
Did you do the thing where you have to call it to see if
I
you
called
can hear it ringing? Yeah.
Went straight to voicemail.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, crap. So she takes my phone, logs in to find my phone, and then says, oh, God, it's an In-N-Out.
Oh, you left it.
So I said, and I felt bad for a moment. I go, okay, well, go grab it. I'm going to get them into the bath and brushed and cleaned and everything. She's like, you're not going to go with me? I go, we found it. We know it's there. I've got bath. I've got the game starting. It happens to be my job, too. I like to throw the job card out there whenever I want to watch the game.
She thought she maybe left it on the top of the car.
thought
So
maybe
it might
she
be in the
lo-
parking lot.
Yeah,
You got to
could
hurry.
be
You
in-
want to make sure before someone
Get
drives
back. So
over it or anything.
Just
Yeah.
go get it, and I'll have them dialed in when you get home. Fine, she says. She leaves. She's gone for 30 minutes. I get the kids out of the bath, washed, scrubbed, hair brushed. Where's Mama? I'm like, I don't know. I can't call her because there's no phone. Where's Mama, Dada? I'm like, all right, now I'm starting to get a little worried. So I go, all right, let's go. Get the kids, put the Crocs on, walk out to the car, open up the back seat, remembered, I took the car seats out. I'm like, that's going to take me 20 minutes. I go, you know what? Mama's going to be fine. So we walk back in the house.
Everything working against me.
Everything's working against me. She'll be fine.
Sometimes things are just too daunting.
Yeah.
I get it.
Bo says, well, we can walk to In-N-Out. I'm like, we're not walking to In-N-Out, okay? It's not close. It's close-ish, but in a car, it's close. We're not
It's
walking
like a mile and a half.
Mama's fine. So we wait. All of a sudden, the door opens. She walks in, phone in hand. I go, your phone's here. You got it? And she goes, it is. I go, is it crushed to a million pieces? She goes, mm-mm. I said, well, why are you being weird? What happened? Did it fall off the car? She goes, nope. I go, well, where was it? She goes, it was in the car. And I said, it was in your car where I told you to look. And she goes, I don't want to talk about it right now because.
But it said it was in In-N-Out.
Yes, because it died.
At In-N-Out.
At In-N-Out.
That was the
and
last
that's the last place that it was on.
pinged.
Was In-N-Out.
Oh,
was in her car.
man.
Now, she goes
But she didn't forget it at all.
No, never did.
But so she found it as soon as she drove to In-N-Out and it was there?
Nope.
No.
She went into In-N-Out and asked them, I've lost my phone. Can I go through the garbage? And they said, okay.
Oh, no.
And she went through.
Like the little bit that said thank you. That
Like maybe she
She
left it on the
had
tray or
trays.
something?
Yeah, well, we
you
had
put
the big trays,
Yeah.
and we all threw ours away.
Yeah,
And
and you thought maybe the phone was on it
She
and
thought it
slid
was.
right into the little hole
Into the
at
hole.
the top there.
Yep.
Oh no.
And so she went through.
All the burger paper, the cheesy burger paper, and the ketchup-y fry
Fries.
dishes, and the sauce, the
Milkshakes.
animal style
yeah.
fries, and the little bit of milkshake
Yeah.
left at the bottom of the shakes.
Yeah. She went through
Snotty napkins.
She went through 3 garbage pails.
No.
She goes, Steven, you don't understand. I touched the bottom of each of these. She goes, and the sweet employee helped me. I go, you are a monster. You're a real monster, you are. And she goes, I don't know. I didn't know what to do. She goes, so I started to quit after the first one. And the lady said, it's $1,000. And Hannah goes, you know what? You're right. We can't, nobody's in a position to just throw away iPhones, right? So she goes, all right, bring out the next one. And they went through that one.
Oh my
and they
God.
went through another one. 3. And then she goes, just forget it. And she starts to drive home. She's fiddling around under her seat. It's there. She was in her car the whole freaking time, dude.
She got the phone.
Yeah, she got the phone, and she's like, I got to go take a shower. It's just covered
my God.
in and out grease and junk. And so she got it. She got it back. And I, it's hard as a spouse to not do the, I told you to go look in your phone. And to look in your car. I told you. And I don't want to hear that right now. I'm like, okay, well, just maybe listen. Sometimes it's fine. So she did. She got it. And but yeah, had to tear through the garbage, Benjamin. So that was a fun night. So I don't know who actually had it worse, me or her. She got her phone back.
Yeah, you lost for your.
I'm out for the
your
year.
Survivor
I'm
pool
done.
for the season.
Yeah, I think I had it worse.
I don't know. That
God,
to
everybody
me,
did.
yeah, digging through 3
Giant
bins of fast food garbage is probably
even though
worse
it's
than-
in and out and it's classy fast food, it's still like you
It's
said,
garbage.
Ketchup,
Yeah.
spread,
Yeah,
snot napkins,
Yeah.
name it to the bottom,
remnants of tomatoes and lettuce and
to the bottom of the barrel, 3 of them. So there we go.
yeah, that's
It was not good.
that's very unfortunate.
Not good. Sweet angel.
858 or 833-8 what's our number again? 833-288-0973 for the Take on Woods here in a couple of minutes. So I went through mathematically because I know there are some people who do not want to give up the ghost
How dare you do
on this season. And they want to hold out any last hope. Until
What are you doing right
until
now?
that little
What
E,
are you doing right now?
Until that little E is next to the Padres name on eliminated, they don't want to give it up. Padres are 7 games out with 21 to play. The Diamondbacks are the new third wild card. They won yesterday. They beat the Cubs 6-2. Tommy Pham, congratulations, 2 more home runs. And they moved into the third wild card spot. So the Padres need to make up 8 games on the Diamondbacks in the last 21 because remember, the Diamondbacks won the tiebreaker by taking 3 out of 4 from the Padres in that last series. So if you just want to do, I did the math.
No.
If the Diamondbacks go 11-10 the rest of the way, they have 21 games remaining as well. Padres would need to go 19-2 to finish the season to pass the Diamondbacks. Is it absolutely impossible? No, that's why the Padres still have a 1% chance of making the playoffs, according to ESPN. If the Diamondbacks go 12-9, Padres would have to go 20-1. And if the Diamondbacks go 13-8, which is certainly within the realm of possibility, Padres would have to win them all, 21-0 to finish the season to pass them and make the playoffs. So that's
Other teams would need to lose.
that's what, and there are other teams below that would have to presumably go worse. If someone went, 15-6 or something, the Padres could do nothing about it at that point. They would be eliminated even if they won the rest of their games this season. But if no one goes, crazy, crazy good the rest of the way, Padres could still go on a massive, Oakland A's Moneyball style winning streak. At the end of the year.
Moneyball sounds more likely than Moneyball, to be honest.
I did the math yesterday for those who do not want to totally give up on the season until it's really over. So there's what you're facing over the last 21 games. Good with that?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Not in the slightest.
All right, then let's play Take on Woods instead. All right, looks like we got Edward as our contestant today. Good morning, Edward. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. You like Ed or Edward or Eddie or
Eddie.
Eddie.
Eddie it is. All right, Eddie. You're going to go up against Woodsy. He's left the studio. You get to go first with our 5 musical questions, and then Woodsy goes second. You beat or tie him, we will put you into the drawing for our grand prize 2-night getaway at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino, plus a private VIP pod at the Westgate Superbook, and a $250 food and beverage credit. You're going to love it. $70 million in room renovations. It is absolutely terrific, and you can only get there by qualifying here on Take on Wood. So you get to pick our category today. Your choices are Will Wonders Never Cease? That's been sitting there a couple of weeks. The word wonder, the key to those. Title yes, lyrics no, part 2. We did one a couple of days ago. It's songs in which the title does not appear in the lyrics to the song. And the new category today is called Wait for Me. Those are 5 song titles that end with the word me. So of those three, Eddie, will Wonders Never Cease, Title Yes, Lyrics No, or Wait for Me? What would you like to play?
Let's go with Wait for Me.
Wait for Me. All right, the new one. All right, for today's category, as I said, you'll be looking for 5 song titles that end with the word me. You got 60 seconds, so if you don't know one, you can pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. We'll start with the 2-second song. Paulie's going to play a clip, well-known song from the past. You need to give me the title that ends with the word me and the artist to score that point, and then we'll go on from there. Eddie, you ready to play?
Let's do it.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Category Wait for Me. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Eddie. Let's take on Woods.
If you change your mind, take a chance on the first day.
Oh, wow. Pass.
Hot funk, cool punk, even if it's old junk. Billy Joel takes aim at the critics in which hit from his Glass Houses album?
I'll pass.
The Killers know heaven ain't close in a place like this, in which 2004 hit about trying to meet someone at a club.
Wow.
The Human League looks at a breakup from 2 different perspectives, in which 1981 new wave hit. Jewel laments a failed relationship, in which hit from her debut album that was written by fellow San Diegan Steve Poltz.
Oh, boy.
Oh, did not go well. Sorry,
Eddie.
That's an O for. I don't think that's going to do it. Let's leave the answers so we can all play along one more time and bring Woods back in. See how he does in the same category. He does not get the category. Makes it a little tougher for him. We'll see how he does. Let's reset the questions. Our 2-second song. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Eddie.
If you change your mind, take a chance.
Take a chance, ABBA. Take a chance on me, ABBA.
Correct. Hot funk, cool punk, even if it's old junk. Billy Joel takes aim at the critics in which hit from his Glass Houses album.
It's still rock and roll to me.
Correct. The Killers know heaven ain't close in a place like this, in which 2004 hit about trying to meet someone at a club.
Somebody told me.
Correct. The Human League looks at a breakup from 2 different perspectives, in which 1981 new wave hit.
Ooh, don't you want me?
Correct. Jewel laments a failed relationship, in which hit from her debut album that was written by fellow San Diegan Steve Poltz.
Is it You Were Meant for Me?
Correct. Very good. And by a whopping 5-0 score, Woodsy routs Eddie today on Take on Woods in the category Wait for Me.
One would have done.
The me, of course, was the last word in all of those song titles.
Yes.
That was good. You played that one well today, Woods.
Thank you very
nicely
much.
done.
Appreciate it.
All right, no qualifier today. We'll have a new set of categories and try to get some qualifiers next week on Take on Woods. However, only going to be here the first couple of days next week because you're doing your Notre Dame trip.
Yes.
And you'll check in with us, right, from
I will.
South Bend while you're there. But
Probably Thursday, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, well, that's from Chicago, but yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, all right. So we got to keep that in mind for next week. All right, let's take a time out. We're going to come back. Again, did not go well for Woods last night in day 1 of the NFL season.
No.
But you know what? There's lots of games still. You may not be able to win the Survivor pool. You could still have a fantastic season. Maybe you need to pick a winner this week just to
not
get
may
it out
not
of your
be able
system.
to win. You definitely
No, I
can't
definitely can't win
Well,
the Survivor pool.
If we all lost this week,
That's true. If you guys lose,
if every
we
single
start
one
over.
of us lost, we don't win. It's not the it's not the last person who is alive this week.
That's right.
You have to win at least once to win a Survivor pool. So technically, he's not out. If we all lost this week, we'd have to restart.
You guys aren't
and
losing.
pick new.
Are you more nervous now, though?
Someone's
going to
get one right,
Are
right?
you more nervous now than you were?
A little bit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we got Craig Elsten coming up at 8:35 as well. Going to be talking some pods with him. Geoff Blum, 9 a.m., Astros broadcaster. They're playing good baseball, man. We got our work cut out for us this weekend.
First, let's get a check of traffic, then be right back with more here on 97.3 The Fan. Welcome back, Men of Woods, 8:24. It is Friday morning. We've got Craig Elsten coming up at the bottom of the hour. Before that, we're going to give away some more tickets to the Del Mar Wine and Food Festival. That's just minutes away, so stay tuned until our next bottom of the hour break, and you'll have a chance to win some tickets. We do have Padres baseball for you tonight here on 97.3 The Fan. I believe it's a 5:10 first pitch, 4:10 pregame show. Game 1 of the road trip and Game 1 of a 3-game series against the Houston Astros. And Blake Snell will be on the mound, continuing his push toward a second Cy Young Award. Takes on Hunter Brown and the Astros, a game that's only going to be on Apple TV Plus, your television viewing. Of course, Blake Snell will have to probably make do with Luis Campusano behind the plate today. He's been working very well with Gary Sanchez ever since Sanchez arrived with the Padres at the end of May. But with Gary going on the injured list and going to be out for the rest of the season, he's going to have to make these final, maybe 4 starts of the season with a different catcher behind the plate. Now, I don't know if that'll be a big deal for Blake or not, but it's certainly adding a bit of uncertainty to his last few starts.
I would say it's going to be. He's a guy that loves comfort, very much.
But he also calls his own pitches.
He does
on his belt.
He does.
Can't. I mean, how much? I mean, well, if Luis blocks pitches, then he blocks pitches. If he doesn't, now the question is whether Blake had started trusting Gary. He could spike his curveball. And he felt like Gary was going to block those pitches. If Luis, blocks the first couple, I'm sure Blake will get pretty comfortable pretty quickly with Luis behind the plate as well.
It's a tough draw when they're like, "Hey, you got Snell tonight." You're like, oh, "All right, better be locked in and on my game because that 58-footer, man, that's right here
next to a knuckleballer. It's about as tough of an experience as you get behind the plate.
That's no joke, Ben. That's an accurate statement. He gets more swings and misses on a 59-footer. And he makes guys look absolutely foolish with that. But, an inning can get really, really big with a couple of those pass balls.
Especially with the walks that he's going to put the guys on base. So if that walk instantly turns into a guy on
double or third,
because of a couple of wild pitches.
Sack fly gets it done. It can get out of hand pretty quick. But listen, the Campy's here. This is a good test for him. This is a big chance for him as well. And, Blake just needs to go out and do exactly what he's been doing all season, man. He has been lights out. It's a lot of pressure for him, I'm sure, too. He knows to be just a finalist in the, one of the top 3 guys, top 3 or 4 guys mentioned for a Cy Young. You go in there feeling pretty good anyway, but then when you realize, I actually have a chance to maybe win this thing in a walk here, which is unbelievable. Like, it ratchets it up a little bit. And again, facing that lineup, you're like, all right, man, I really got to be sharp tonight.
Now, you were a little upset after the comments you made a few weeks ago. At this point, with where the Padres are at in the season, do you care if that's his mentality? Like, hey, I'm going out, I'm trying to win this Cy Young.
No, not now, I don't.
You see what I'm saying?
It's over,
it's a little different now.
It is. Ben just made a once Ben painted that picture of you'd need to go, what was it, 19-2 if somebody else goes
Arizona
12 and
just
11.
plays a game above 500, you'd have to go 19-2.
Well, go get yours now at this point. I feel actually a little bit more free and easy rooting for him tonight against this Astros team because Ben really put that in perspective. It would be an almost impossible task, and that's why there's like 1%. So I'm go get it. Go get your Ks. Keep your runs off the board. Let's try to win a ball game. Wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if the Padres beat these guys. They've beaten some good teams all year. So it's just one of those weird
He's certainly
weird
leaning into the who cares about walks thing now. Had some quotes in the UT this morning. Basically, he was asked, so what do you make of a pitcher who leads the league in walks but also ERA? Blake said that he's really good. That means he's a damn good pitcher, is what Blake Snell said.
That's what I'm saying.
He also said, it's hard to go 7, 8, 9 because I'll have an inning of 25 or 26 pitches. It's going to happen. I don't care about that. What is 7 compared to 6? As long as I outlast their starter, that's all I care about. I do think he'll get dinged a little bit for not pitching deeper into games by Cy Young voters. I think they care.
Yeah.
I think they care about.
I thought you meant by for money.
No. I think the Cy Young voters. Sandy Alcantara won last year, due in large part to his ability to pitch deep into games, his complete games compared to the rest of the league. not even close.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for him next year, but he is saying now, I don't really care if I walk a guy anymore because I feel like I'm going to strand him. And
that's good. I mean, that's the exact mentality you have.
He's
to
not
have,
going to give
man.
in. He's not giving you a pitch to hit.
Yeah.
He will continue to throw that curveball, and if you lay off it and take your walk, good for you.
Yeah.
The next guy's going to see the same thing. He's not going to back off and all of a sudden, well, now they're not swinging, so I'm just going to have to throw fastballs and take my chances. That's not what Blake is going to do. I mean,
he's got to be one of the most frustrating guys to game plan for. Even when you know that thing is coming, he hides it so well. It looks like a fastball in the zone, and it bounces 2 feet in front of the plate. And, the Astros are a team full of really, really good hitters, and they're analytically based and all that, and we know how serious they take it. And, it'll be fun to watch this duel tonight.
All right, let's open the phone lines for our giveaway. We've got 2 more passes to this weekend's Del Mar Food and Wine Festival. It is happening at Surf Sports Park and featuring appearances by Alex Morgan, Drew Brees, Rob Machado, and more. Tickets are on sale right now at delmar.wine, but if you'd like to win a pair, something to do this weekend, you can call now, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's make it the 4th caller. Going to win. Just wait for Paulie to pick up that phone. If you don't hear him, then you didn't win. But if you do, congratulations. And then we'll have Craig Elsten joining us with a Crossing Stream segment, our regular Friday feature, get some TV recommendations for the weekend, and more coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the Farmer's Dog. Fresh, human-grade dog food delivered right to your door. Good health starts with healthy food. That goes for dogs, too. Farmer's Dog delivers fresh, human-grade food right to your door, so it's easy to quit the burnt brown balls and feed your dog real food. Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/dogdays. I always appreciate Craig Elsten helps us get through the dog days because we have definitely hit them here in early September.
No doubt.
Padres.
He hit him a while ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Based
true.
on some texts I got from him.
Hey, you know that I'm still holding out hope for 21-0, just not, like 1% of hope for that at the end of the season.
Yeah, no, it's not happening.
It's actually, I feel like 1% is a bit generous as well.
As do I.
Like 0.1% sounds a little more accurate to me at this point.
There's so much that has to go in your favor, which that has definitely not been the tone of the year. Things breaking our way.
Tons of things breaking the Padres' way all at once. Really screams 2023, doesn't it?
Here and there, yes, but no.
All right, we'll talk with Craig right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the all-new Premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad. Got a collision now on the coastline, southbound 5 right past Tamarack, trying to move into the center divide. Also an accident clearing up on the southbound 15, just past the 52. Premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad with all new 2023 GMC Sierra 1500 elevation package trucks, $4,000 off MSRP, over 15 in stock to choose from. Stop in or shop online at carlsbadbuickgmc.com, a proud member of the Premier Carlsbad family of dealers. And Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Craig is doing entirely too much smiling right now on our YouTube stream, and I don't know why, but it makes me nervous for some reason as we welcome him onto our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline for a Crossing Streams Friday. Good morning, Craig. You seem in a cheerful mood right now.
Yeah, sure. I'm chip. Well, I laughed because originally when I was put on, they switched to a shot of just like basically down Woodsy's shirt there, which was really funny.
It's very
to
close.
me. And then I'm also just reminded of, as I drove the kid to school earlier this morning, when you had on Tyler.
Tyler's here. Tyler's still here. Yeah.
Yeah, and welcomed him as sir.
Yeah, he's still here.
I think I laughed longer in the car. Just the way you introduced him as sir than anything else.
Ben has
trying to convey both being respectful and skeptical at the same time. Craig,
as a good journalist, a good journalist does. Yeah. Ben, that's what I've learned from you. Respectful, and what was the other word? Skeptical. Yes.
Healthy skepticism is what we call that. That's what we have with the Padres this year.
No, it's not healthy. No.
An unhealthy skepticism.
It's just massive skepticism at this point. I think it's well earned, Craig. And I know you've been in you were in the acceptance phase a while back, and we're all just kind of playing this thing out, seeing how it ends. And we're now at the point of rooting for Cy Young potentially for Blake Snell and some other, individual accomplishments. Like to see a couple of guys finish the year really strong, see what some of the young kids can do. I'm excited to see Eggy Rosario, and I know he's battled his way back. They're going to be calling him up. He can play a bunch of different positions, and Profar's back. I mean, that's something.
We called it yesterday.
Yeah.
We called it.
We did.
Yeah, he's back.
It's yeehaw.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Gamel's gone and Jurickson Profar's here, and let's ask our diners if they've noticed the difference.
Correct.
That's a very old
Taster's
Folgers
Choice,
commercial
I
reference.
think. Or is that Folgers or Taster's Choice? I can't.
Oh
even
yeah,
remember.
Taster's
Choice. Yeah.
Gosh, I have Folgers in my head, but it might be Taster's Choice.
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
you're right.
He never
I think
gets
it
a
is
second
Taster's
cup
Choice.
at home. I can't remember, but yeah,
that's delightful.
Yeah, they're playing spoiler now. I mean, I think tonight's game, if there's like one game the rest of the season to circle, you got Blake Snell on the mound against the hottest offense on the planet in the Houston Astros. It's rock, it's hard place, it's, this is actually kind of an interesting matchup tonight for the first game of this series.
On Apple TV Plus, I would note for anyone who's looking for it. And in fact, when we get to recommendations, I'll have a couple. Like if you just turned on Apple TV Plus for today, here's a couple things you can watch. But yeah, no, I agree. And to see how he gets out of 2-on-1 out with those big hitters like Alvarez or Bregman at the plate. That's going to be a lot of fun. You talk about a 1% chance on Immaculate Talk, my Immaculate Grid podcast I do with Joe Sheehan. I was really psyched Wednesday. I put Mariano Duncan in a box and got 0.0007%.
That's rarity right there.
Score. And that's pretty much where the Padres are right now, is 0.0007%. However, they have a much higher chance of failing their way down into at least the draft lottery and an opportunity to not give up a good first round draft pick. And honestly, that's what I've been rooting for the last week, is like, so when they beat the Giants 3 in a row, I'm like, okay, so now you're going to win? Like, okay. But hey, Bogarts is hitting right now. Tatis, I think, is finishing the season strong. It's good to see those things. Personally, though, Ben, I'm with you. Jay Groom should take Rich Hill's next start.
Sure.
It's not that Jay Groom's been good at all, but who cares? Like,
hey,
honestly,
kid, you've
right
been
now,
terrible. Here's the trip to the big leagues. I mean, Avila did not have.
Keep being terrible. That's
Well
why
deserved.
you're coming up here.
He did not have big number. It's kind of a pitcher's nightmare down there, and yeah, I mean, it's at some point you're gonna have to see what you got with some of these guys, and what better time than right now. I don't really want to see Matt Carpenter getting ABs down the stretch. I just don't. It doesn't make any sense. And I know he's still under contract for next year, but man, if you bring him back next year, it feels malpractice-y to me at this point with some of the guys that you have and some of the guys that you can go get. It just doesn't make any sense.
Hey, we've talked about top to bottom. You've got to take a look at what's happening with this organization. And Woodsy, I've heard you talk about this week, and I'm on your side of the fence and not on Jesse's side of the fence. In fact, I really need to hear it from the organization, just a sense of realization of where they are, as opposed to the nothing matters, we're going to just come back and get him next year. Hey, there's a lot of choices to be made, and I really think someone needs to hang a shingle, kind of like the play like a champion shingle that everyone has to touch on the way out to the field.
Of course,
for Notre Dame.
I'll see it Saturday, buddy.
Every time AJ Preller leaves his office, he needs to have a shingle he has to touch that says no long-term contracts to players over 30.
So that means you're anti signing Blake Snell for a long extension, then I would imagine.
Of course,
yeah.
Like there's no question that those years will be worse than the prior 5 years. The next 5 years of Blake Snell's career, and that's no. I have a Blake Snell jersey. I really like Blake Snell, and on an exclusively personal level, if the Padres re-signed Blake Snell, I'd be excited to go see him pitch, but also I'd be driven crazy because we'll be back to 4 1/3 innings, 5 walks. Like, he's having his all-time season right now. He's having the season where he's stranding everybody. And 1 extra hit per game takes that ERA up to that 3.7, 3.8 spot where it's used to be. Let someone else make that choice.
Craig, you
gotta go find the next guy.
You just brought up, I think, a great point. And that is, as a fan, I can both be happy that the Padres went out and signed Xander Bogaerts.
Absolutely.
And extended Yu Darvish, because I like those guys, and I like the commitment of Peter Seidler to the team. And also say those, those are mistake contracts at the same time. Even though I'm happy they're coming and I'm happy that we have them, and
it's great to watch them.
And it's a lot of good about that. Objectively, those aren't good deals that AJ Preller is handing out to his players.
Correct. And every one that you make puts you in a box once again, because you've got the commitment, you've got the player on the roster. And often those players decline the instant we give them deals, kind of like cars coming off the lot. I mean, look where Cronenworth has gone. This just wasn't his year. It was a lost year for him, and he's not a first baseman. We do stuff like that too. Trade for players or sign players and then put them in a position where they aren't their absolute best. So we got to break this cycle. And this is something we talked about on Padres Hot Tub this week. And I'll be very straightforward. Ben, it was inspired by stuff that you guys talked about early in the week. This franchise has a chronic pitching depth issue. And it has truly, you can see the locus of it. It was 2020 at the deadline. It was the moment that we started to say we're all in. And from that point, whether it was Clevenger, Nola, and then Musgrove, Darvish, Snell, and on through all the way to Soto and to this year, it's been trading prospects for, a year or 2 or 3 or 4 years of service of established players. A very reasonable strategy, one that obviously put a lot of talent on this roster. But every year, the check has come due quietly at the end as some of those players tire or get hurt, and there's just nobody there in AAA, AA to step up and take their place. The big question facing this club on this front is, how do you break this cycle without breaking your window of being competitive? Because the most likely thing to do this year is package some of these prospects for the next Blake Snell, Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish. Go find another starter on 2 years of control, trade prospects for him, get the sure thing. But you're going to have the same problem next August, September. Or do you grit your teeth for 1 year, hold every pitching prospect in your organization, and get to that Dodger Giant spot in 2025, but does it suffer you in 2024? Tough question.
It is the threading of that needle has to be. Did you see the second Top Gun? Did you see Top Gun 2 when they're like, yeah, you're going to be going 800 miles an hour. You have a 1-inch chance. And you're like, bro, this is a death mission here. And if I'm AJ Preller, like, I'm probably looking, if I'm AJ Preller, I'm looking at it going, I've really backed myself into a corner here. I don't know how I'm going to get out of it without, like, wasting years of my kind of aging players' primes, right? Or depleting
a
what
farm
I've
system I just tried to build up again.
It is the thinnest of margins that he's operating. I'd be like, is anybody else hiring? Because I can just go do this somewhere else. It would be such a daunting task that it actually makes my head hurt to think about it. And believe me, Craig, I lay in bed at night and I think about early Ben and Woods combos, right? When we first started. And Ben was Colonel Budget, and I was not. I was like, hey, trade the prospects, get some good players in here, and try to win. And I'm now reconsidering everything I've ever thought I knew about baseball. Just so you know, I've been doing a lot of reflecting lately, and I'm like, I feel I'm now starting to tighten my belt instead of saying, no, go get him, bring him in, let's go. It ain't my money. It's not my money. I've seen how it doesn't work here. It just doesn't work for whatever reason.
Well, and just very, very briefly, it's never worked through baseball history.
Sure.
Doing Immaculate Talk Monday through Friday with Joe Sheehan, it gives me the opportunity to talk about a couple dozen Major League Baseball, or I guess 18, up to 18 different Major League Baseball players every day. And you go through these baseball reference pages and see the superstars. Mo Vaughn, Dale Murphy are two that just pop to mind right away, that if you looked at their age 29, 30 season and you cut off the rest of the page, it's a surefire Hall of Prince Fielder. There's a third for you. Surefire Hall of Famer. You open up everything from 30 and below, and it's a disaster class. And it's the worst contracts, some of the worst contracts in baseball, locking into those players. Pujols, okay? The Padres have walked into those deals already with 5 different guys on the team. So when we talk about Ohtani or Snell, and let me throw Seth Lugo in there, someone else has to take on Seth Lugo after he opts out, doubling his innings at age 33. Like, betting on his age 34 to 36 seasons, that's a huge mistake historically. And the Padres have already made a bunch of these. They have to stop, or else we're going to have a really rough end of this decade. Nobody wants that.
And I feel, too, talking to Craig Elsten here on Ben and Woods this morning, I also feel like I'm better able to deal with it now if you let Lugo walk and Waka and Snell, if they go on and they have a couple of good seasons, that doesn't hurt me as much as potentially, now James Wood being the next great thing, or like if you're like, hey, it's actually an outlier that a guy is in his year 35, his 35-year-old season. Yeah, he had a great year. We missed out on that one. I'm okay with that more than
you get rid of a player a year too early rather than a year too late.
Absolutely. The old Patriots way.
Yeah, let's get to the Crossing Streams streaming television recommendation. And this week, my son, who's a fan of anime, I walked in, he was watching a show called One Piece. And I
Yes.
sat down, and it was weird, but it was a well-done weird. And Paulie says you're going to tell us a little bit about One Piece.
Absolutely. And listen, Ben, my son's obviously, just a few years younger than yours, but he too has inundated our house over the last year with One Piece, which has been airing in Japan, both written as manga and also the anime on the air for over a decade. I saw yesterday he was watching season 15, episode 347 or something like that. So it's literally been on forever. There's hundreds of the manga books that you can go and buy. But Netflix has created an 8-episode live action One Piece. And, James put it on, and I sat down kind of, mini skeptical, curious. And I tell you what, I'm through 4 episodes and on to episode 5, and I love it. Like, I think it is an absolute gas. It's a Tim Burton-esque style to the show. It's very colorful, extremely bright. Things happen that are a little bit weird. The lead character, Monkey D. Luffy, has this just perpetually sunny attitude. He's always positive. He's always putting things together, and it gives you that feeling of positivity as he creates a crew in a fictitious world, which is almost all water. Just tiny little bits, islands and strips of land, and it's essentially pirates and Marines in the world. Pirates robbing things and Marines trying to fix it up. And Monkey D. Luffy leads a ragtag group of the Straw Hat Pirates looking to find a long-lost treasure, the greatest pirate ever, hit all of his treasure in one place. It's all in one piece. And so all the pirates are looking for the One Piece. There's some weird stuff along the way. For example, Monkey D. Luffy is essentially made of rubber.
Yeah, it's a weird show.
Yeah, kind of like Mr. Fantastic or Plastic
There's like
Man.
a clown that comes apart and in different pieces. It's weird. It's weird.
But it's really fun. And like I said, it's got a positivity to it, and it's got a real color and sense of adventure to it. I feel like I'm at the movie theater each time. It's just extremely well done. So One Piece on Netflix, I recommend it. I think it'd be good for a wide swath of the audience, wider than you might think. Like, give it a try and you might be captivated by this show.
Quickly, a couple of you said Apple Plus recommendations for people who are going to get it for the Padres game tonight and want to watch a couple of other things while they're paying their monthly fee.
Yeah, just a quick reminder. These are shows that we have all talked about on here in this segment on Ben and Woods before, but Hijack with Idris Elba.
Just finished it. It was great.
Yeah, 7-episode run, very suspenseful. Silo, if you're looking for sci-fi, mystery, puzzle box, extremely well done. Very much enjoyed that. Shrinking, if you're looking for a comedy with a lot of heart, Bill Lawrence's show, featuring Jason Segel and Harrison Ford, extremely good. I was just catching up on a couple episodes of that last night as well. So those are 3 easy recommendations if you've just clicked on Apple TV Plus for the weekend.
And I saw people in the chat asking about Ahsoka. I know you're talking about that with Ken Garden on the very cleverly named Talk Nerdy to Me. Isn't that a great name? That was true. I love that, Craig. So as always, thank you for the recommendations and the Padres talk, and we'll chat with you. We're actually off next Friday, so we'll figure it out.
Maybe Thursday.
Yeah,
Maybe
probably
Thursday.
Yeah, we'll
Craig
talk through
Elsten on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. We've got Geoff Blum. Blummer going to join us, one of the Astros broadcasters, good friend of the show. Much more still coming up in the final hour of Ben and Woods here on The Fan. haven't really brought it up. I feel like we need to go through at some point before we leave as a public service announcement. Everybody knows, right, that the 5 is going to be closed. Southbound 5 downtown all weekend, starting later today. Like, if you try to drive past the airport toward downtown, you won't be able to do it.
Oh, my wife works for Caltrans.
There's a reason there's no Padres home games this weekend, because that would have been a disaster.
Nightmare.
So
what the hell is going on?
You have to stay away. You have to take alternate. I'll explain it on a little bit. We got a guest on the line.
We have a guest on the line.
But I do feel like that this needs to be known out there so people don't get their entire weekends wrecked by not knowing what's going on. But let's go out to our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Get to the Reindl Report in a little bit. But we got old friend of the show, one of the broadcasters for the Houston Astros, former Padre. Geoff Blum is with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Blummer, it has been way too long. How have you been, man?
It has been way too long, but it's always good to be on with you guys, and I'm doing all right. It's good to have the Pods and the Astros getting after it this weekend.
It sure is, man, and I had to laugh, Blummer, because, I mean, obviously you know what's been going on here in San Diego. We've beaten that horse dead as can be, but I took a little bit of comfort knowing that the Astros, fresh off a World Series win, won the World Series last year, the champs. I'm reading tweets and I'm reading articles about Dusty Baker and Chas McCormick, and I'm like, I'm seeing Astros fans are burning jerseys. I'm like, what in the world? Everyone's insane, and it doesn't matter that you just got a chip last year, a great, well-earned chip. And people have lost their minds. They have truly lost their minds in Houston and New York and San Diego and L.A. everywhere. Blummer, everyone's insane.
I guess that's part of the beauty of being, back at the top again too. Because one thing you've kind of forgotten there too is they went through and absolutely destroyed the Texas Rangers and took over the top spot in the American League West. So just when you thought everything was going to be hunky-dory and the Astros are back and look at how great this team's playing, it's a little bit of controversy mixed in there. But I also think that, if you do read those headlines, you're going, man, poor Chas, because he keeps getting compared to Julio Rodriguez and things like that. But at the same time, Dusty Baker's, he's trying to figure out what gear to put his Ferrari in.
Yes.
Is the way I look at it. He's got options. And these are things that, with injuries to Altuve, Alvarez, Michael Brantley, that's what opened the door for Chas McCormick to perform. And now you've got this guy performing, but you have perennial all-stars you've got to get in the lineup too. And how do you do that? And unfortunately, when you're the manager, everybody looks at your lineup and says it's your fault. But at the same time, he's got some great weapons that he's working with, and it's a great problem to have.
So why are they complaining, though? That's just because they want their guy Chas to play, but, it doesn't make sense. They're winning. It baffles the brain.
Speaking of managers in that just concluded Rangers series, did you get a chance to talk to Boch? I mean, you played for him for the Padres his last couple of years here in San Diego. What a great start. It is unraveling quickly. I'm wondering whether Boch is as enthusiastic as he was when he took the job a few months ago.
Well, knowing Boch as well as I do, I did talk to him early in the year. Everything was great. And, a little bit later in the middle of the season, everything was okay. Then later in the season, you know what? I know when to avoid people. And that's part of the job. And, considering what the Astros were doing, I completely avoided the situation. And I think you guys saw it, too, on some of the camera shots that he's kind of going through it right now because he got off to such an electric start. But that bullpen, that poor bullpen that he's trying to put these games together with is just not making it happen. And I've seen his hands going over that big old skull more than I've seen in the past.
It's pretty bananas. And, it's just the way that it works, Blum. We're talking to Geoff Blum here on Ben and Woods this morning. It's the way that it works. The grass is always greener. You got Bob Melvin here, a very well-respected guy, takes a team to the NLCS in year one. This has been the weirdest, most atrocious season based on expectations. And everyone's like, see, we should have hired Bochy. And I'm like, well, look at Bochy right now. Like, you're never, you're never going to be happy until you win a World Series. But as I've just said, you're not even happy when you win a World Series. What I'm learning from Astros fans. It truly is bananas. I mean, you're around Dusty. You're around the team. The I guess knock from the article I read was, well, he trusts his veterans too much. And I'm like, In what universe do you not trust your veterans? That's what it's making me nuts watching everyone pick everything apart right now in sports. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And, I think that those three guys that you mentioned right there, and Bob Melvin, Bruce Bochy, Dusty Baker, these guys are veterans who have been around. They've won. They've had their success. They're still trying to figure out this new world of baseball where you've got the analytics kind of involved. But at the same time, I think what has made these guys good in the past is the way they use their personnel and the way they manipulate personalities. And I think Bob Melvin's trying to figure that out still in San Diego with some of the superstars he has. But here in Houston, Dusty Baker has never been a guy that shied away from, why are you playing this guy? He goes, because I want to.
Yeah, because I want to.
He'll say because he's a veteran too. And there is a certain level of trust. But Dusty's also, he still has that player mentality, I think, as a manager. And he respects what those older guys have done. And I think it's worked out pretty good because he wants those younger guys to see the respect that those guys have earned. But then again, trying to teach them how did they earn that respect. They earned it by playing consistently. They earned it by playing well. They earned it by, taking their medicine when they need to and earning the right to get into that starting lineup. But it's been a good mix for Dusty, and I love the fact that he is just, a staunch supporter of veteran guys and will give them the opportunity. And to his credit, those veteran guys that have stepped in, they've produced.
Talking to Geoff Blum, former Padre, current Astros broadcaster, here with us on 97.3 The Fan. And Geoff, I'm wondering if there are some lessons that can be learned by the Padres from the Astros, because we're just talking about some of these long-term contracts they've locked into. And certainly the Astros have paid some money to keep some good players, but they've also been okay letting some of their players go. And they've made mistakes. I mean, the Padres tried to sign Jose Abreu, and he hasn't had a 660 OPS, hasn't had a very good season, but they've overcome it to still be in first place. How do they do it?
Depth.
I mean,
they have a lot of depth.
How have they figured out the kind of the formula to keep it going without overpaying everybody on the roster?
You know what? It's been really interesting to watch because, you have to go back to when Jim Crane took over, the Astros owner, and then he hired Jeff Luhnow. And to his credit, even though he had that major fault, obviously, in 2017, to his credit, he drafted incredibly well. He put together a program with A.J. Hinch that said we are going to develop players within our system. We're going to draft high spin type pitchers with good velocity. We're going to draft guys that have good plate discipline and are able to drive the baseball, and they nurtured that. And then they found the ability to sprinkle in some veteran guys who would garner some decent contracts, but not those 10-year contracts. And I think that's where the owner kind of steps in and says, Jim is not a guy that I think wants to go out there and sign those 10-year contracts. And I think that was really evident this offseason with the conversations he's had with Kyle Tucker, because the years are what scared him a little bit as far as longevity. It's not the annual value. I think it's just the long-term annual value that he's worried about. And they've been able to develop. They've been able to create a clubhouse chemistry of guys that want to go out there and play the game. There's superstars inside that clubhouse, but at the same time, they don't necessarily need to be the guy every single at bat. They're willing to take their walks and let the guy behind them be the superstar. And it kind of rotates throughout the course of the year who's doing well and, who's contributing the most. But at the same time, Dusty Baker being the glue that kind of brings these guys together, I think, is what solidified it. So it's drafting, it's developing, and it's understanding that this game, as individual as it can be, needs to be a team game.
Well, and it's going to be so interesting down the stretch, Blummer, and you can speak to this, I'm sure. You see teams. I mean, you're in a race right now, and it's a 3-team race for the West, and Texas is 3 back, Seattle's a half game out, and they've got young pitching, they've got Julio Rodriguez, but you guys are the Houston Astros, and you've got pitching, and you've got a bullpen, and when you look at it though, is it hard to think about, like, all right, man, like if you're going to be in the playoffs regardless, but is winning the West super, super duper important to those guys? Or is it something where it's like, no, maybe we let Seattle burn themselves out trying to win the West? You see the Dodgers do it. You saw the Giants do it a couple of years ago. I mean, just getting to the dance with all that experience, you got to like your chances.
No, I agree with you. And it's been interesting because in the past, the Astros have had such large leads that in September we start talking magic numbers. But this year, you're kind of going, well, it wouldn't be bad if they were the 6th seed, because then you play a Minnesota or you play, some of these other teams outside your division, because the West has been so dominant. At the same time, I think the Blue Jays are extremely scary, but you're right in the sense that you're not totally frightened of the fact of having to play that wild card series to get in. But at the same time, I think if you do realize if you win the West, you do have that series off. And like you guys just said, the Seattle Mariners have to use some pitching to get through a wild card round. And by the time they get to that division series, then they have to manipulate their rotation a little bit differently. But I think that's where Seattle is kind of dangerous in the sense that if their offense is rolling and it matches up with their starting rotation, where I think Jerry DiPoto did a phenomenal job of recognizing that they've got a good enough offense, if they can get a starting rotation that can go out there and match what that offense is doing, they've got a really good chance to win some ball games. And that's where I think the threat of the Mariners is a little bit in that division series because the rotation is so deep. But at the same time, getting that series off, I think now that the Astros are kind of looking at it, would allow them to reset their rotation a little bit, because I think that's where they're kind of struggling a little bit, is trying to find who's going to be that third or fourth starter in the Astros rotation in the playoffs.
I feel like this is going to be a weird weekend series for your team's fans in particular, because if I was an Astros fan, I look at the Padres and go, oh, this team's out of it. They're 10 games under 500. Let's go in and take at least 2 out of 3, if not sweep the series. And that may very well happen. And it may not, because this Padres team is so weird that it wouldn't be crazy if the Padres went in and took 2 out of 3 or swept the series too, because you just can't predict anything about this Padres team right now. I mean, you got Blake Snell on the mound tonight. You get to see the Cy Young favorite in the National League in Game 1, but he probably won't throw more than 6 innings. I think it's going to be a very interesting series here, Geoff.
No, I completely agree, and I think that the San Diego Padres are that team that's effectively wild, and what I mean by that is they're effectively good enough to go in there and play phenomenal baseball in spurts, and this may be the time that they do it, because you've got Blake going tonight in that Apple game, and he could set the tone for the series. But at the same time, 1 through 9 in that lineup for the San Diego Padres is always a threat, just because of the depth that they've created individually with those guys. And I've seen Juan Soto in this ballpark in high leverage situations do an incredible amount of damage, and it'll be interesting to have him in this environment again. But at the same time, check the Astros home numbers. They are awful at home, and by awful I mean they're playing 35 and 34 baseball.
Wow.
They're about a run and a half less at home, and their pitcher's ERA is up almost 2 runs at home. So it's going to be really interesting coming off that series against Texas to see how the Astros respond. But at the same time, I completely agree with you that you cannot take the San Diego Padres for granted because of the name equity that they have in this game, and they can play up to that name at any moment.
Well, Geoff, it's been great catching up with you again. I guess you get the night off tonight because of the Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
That's all right. You'll have a few more games. You just watch and enjoy a ball game. We talked to Bob Scanlan earlier.
I wanted to call a Blake Snell game, man. That guy's been dealing.
Yeah, he has.
You can sit with Bob Scanlan and watch the game as a fan, because that's what he's going to do tonight, because he's off as well, traveling with the team. So enjoy that, and maybe we'll have a playoff conversation with your Astros coming up in October.
I look forward to it. It'd be great to be on with you guys again. Always appreciate it.
Thanks, Blum.
Geoff
Appreciate
Blum
it.
On our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. I just do like that guy.
He's great. He's so good, so high energy, and totally knows his stuff and knows that organization. And yeah, man, that's why I think I had heard that they had been playing better on the road. I didn't know it was that bad. Holy cow.
I was surprised by that stat.
Yeah.
I did not know about that. I mean, that's a weird ballpark to play in. A lot of those warning track flies that the Padres are hitting at Petco, they'll be out easily at Minute Maid. I mean, I don't know if that changes anything, but yeah.
Toddy hit a ball there that I will never forget. Never, ever,
through the window?
ever,
The one
up over the train,
yeah.
and like like he said, there's guys in our lineup that can absolutely do damage there.
That was where they had that, didn't they have that crazy comeback in the 9th inning against them a couple of years ago?
I don't remember the comeback.
I
remember
Tatis hit a foul pop up. They dropped it. It would have been the end of the game.
Then he hit the bomb.
And then he hit the bomb, and
That's
they came back and won that game.
Of course, we remember what's our number one memory
of Houston.
Oh yeah, what's our number one memory? Eric Hosmer going for that
fly
ball,
the infield pop
up that would have
like first week of the season, early in the year, in April.
Yeah, that was.
That was a bad one.
We have
good and bad memories.
Good and bad.
Houston. All right, we still have a Reindl Report to get to. Paul's got some headlines, a little more football talk coming up here, and we'll set the stage for the rest of this game and the series. All coming up. Don't go away. More Ben and Woods after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Tying run at the plate, 2 outs in the ninth. And a pitch to Fernando is hammered to deep left. Will it stay fair? It does! Up over the railroad tracks in left. And we are 6-6 in the ninth.
That was amazing.
Jesse sounds younger.
He does.
I feel like that was a Sunday.
I'd have to look.
Summer Sunday.
I know there was the 9th inning, down 3 runs, 6-3 Houston, and Toddy just put one over
pop up foul territory, gave him another chance, and he tied the game, and the Padres went on and won.
Remember
in
those
extra
days
innings
when we could win?
It was the last extra inning win for the Padres.
To be fair, that was the 2021 season. So.
That's true.
Which started great.
Yeah, that's true. They were.
Really did.
They got to. Did I just read that they got to 17 or 18 games above 500 that year before the once in a century collapse? They haven't even sniffed that this year.
I remember I took Bo on our summer trip. I'll be going on next week, but I took him to Texas to see my family. And it was so bad that I can't look at Twitter. I'm not watching the games. The collapse, and I think it was in August. It was
May 29th.
That was the home run.
Yeah.
But the collapse that year was like excruciating. It was absolutely excruciating. This one's been excruciating in a different way. Just a totally different
They made
way.
it all the way through June.
Yeah, dude.
As like they were the best team
All-Star
in baseball
break.
for sure.
Yep.
And then it was like right around the All-Star break. Paddock went down.
Yep.
Then they
Remember
didn't.
Paddock? Oh my God.
They didn't
Loud,
acquire.
thunder, heavy rain.
They went and got Adam Frazier and no
Yep.
pitching.
Couldn't
and
hit.
Then Weathers went down, and it was just
That was a
Vince
fun one.
Velasquez, Jake Arrieta.
It's been a fun run, guys. It's been very, very fun.
We have seen some S.
Yeah, we have. We have seen some S, Paulie.
Speaking of S, I know that Kelly's been talking about it in her traffic reports, but yeah, I think it's important to get this message out as
Sure, we've got a
widely as
platform.
possible.
Yeah.
So beginning at 9 p.m. tonight, and then lasting through 5 a.m. Monday morning, so all weekend long, the southbound 5, starting at the 8, so right there like SeaWorld, just past SeaWorld at the sports arena, will be closed all the way to the 163. So if you are trying to go downtown and you're like coming down the 5, you'll have to cut over on the 8 through Mission Valley, then come down the 163 to get into downtown.
So I'm going to Petco Park with my family, the whole family, tomorrow night to see Band of Horses.
All right, that's one of the things. They've got Taste of Gaslamp that's downtown, Band of Horses at Petco Park tomorrow. Got Comedian at the SD Civic Theater tonight late. Boots in the Park Festival at the Waterfront Park on Saturday. Some House of Blues shows. Some kickoff watch parties for the NFL at bars and restaurants on Sunday.
Just downtown.
It's
in
downtown,
general.
yeah. Just restaurants
On a
and
weekend.
everything that goes on a normal weekend downtown. You can't get there from the southbound 5
Do I
this
need
weekend.
a chopper in?
That would help.
Okay.
Yeah, land on the roof. I thought it's always cool. They have
Be
chopper pads on the
coolest
roof
thing
of the
ever.
high rise. Yeah.
Be the coolest thing ever.
For sure.
I don't make that kind of scratch though.
But you can expect big traffic on the 5 South.
Hell yeah.
If you're just stay off the 5 if you
I
can.
can't.
Well, you can go on the 805 and then cover the 163.
But then
so don't
everyone's
even
gonna
get
be on the 805.
Yeah, I mean
too.
it'll definitely be worse on the 805 for
This
sure.
sucks.
Take the 52 over.
Maybe we just sleep there tonight. Get down. What does it start? 9 tonight.
9 to 9 until 5 a.m.
Go
on
get a
Monday.
hotel.
Get a hotel with the kids. That went so well last time. Wow, cool. Chances Hannah begs off of the concert and I end up with 2 kids in traffic for 3 hours is probably pretty good.
So apparently they are doing some work on a bridge, like hard to reach, over the 5 there in downtown. So they got to get all the traffic off all weekend.
Yeah, it's important stuff.
Yeah.
There's never a good time. I mean,
No.
what's a good
No,
time?
there
there's
isn't.
no convenient time to shut down a major
I mean, it is
freeway.
good that there's no Padres games this week.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
And you're
I mean,
not
there's
trying to get 40,000 people into downtown.
still plenty of
But-
events going on.
Yeah,
down
for
there.
sure.
Oh man. Well,
So keep
you know
that
what?
keep that in mind this weekend. If you got anything that's going to take you anywhere near downtown, stay away from the 5 South this weekend, San Diego.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting down to Petco Park, no matter how long it takes me to get there and back. I'm excited. Taylor's first concert. He's almost 3 years old. Loves Band of Horses. So
What took you so long?
I know,
3
right?
years old.
3 years old. And Bo was at Kiss when he was 2. I'm excited. So first show for him. And then, of course, college football. I saw an article this morning saying that the Colorado Buffaloes, Ben, are getting more bets than NFL games right now.
Really?
Good
Yes.
So that's the game that I think I'm most interested in. I did a little.
Yeah.
I did a little like what's interesting this weekend
That's what's
in college
in.
football.
This
so
should be a new segment.
You've got a bit
That's
of a dilemma.
what's in. This is our
ready to go.
college football.
'Cause
That's what's in.
Tomorrow morning, that's the 9 a.m. game on Fox.
Oh, it is?
Nebraska, Colorado. It's a 10 a.m. local start. That's an early start in Boulder. 9 a.m. on the West Coast. But that's also
Buffalo's on the loose. Dion's gonna cruise.
Let's go, Goose.
that's also the same time that Notre Dame plays NC State.
Ah, crap.
9 a.m. on ABC. So you've got a bit of a conflict tomorrow morning.
No, I don't.
The midday game is UNLV Michigan on CBS at 12:30. That'll be a rout. No Jim Harbaugh coaching. He's still suspended.
Right.
And then later we've got Ole Miss Tulane. That's the only matchup. Oh no, that's one ranked matchup. The biggest one though is Texas Alabama.
Yeah.
Which is number 11, number 3. That's a ESPN game at 4:00.
It's only a 7-point spread. Alabama favored by 7.
People are not as high on Alabama as usual, I guess, but they're still Alabama and they're still at home. A couple other games later. Number 13, Oregon at Texas Tech. That's a 5:00 Fox game. Wisconsin, number 19 at Washington State is the ABC game at 4:30. And then Stanford at number 6 USC is the late game on Fox at 7:30. And, of course, you've got the CBS game at 4:30 is UCLA SDSU, nationally televised to the entire country.
What time's that game?
4:30.
Okay.
Tomorrow. So there are, a little bit better than the first weekend, which was
it's
mostly
much better.
cream puff
Yeah,
games.
it's
now
much
there's
better.
a few less, but still
They're all
mostly,
early.
Mostly lopsided matchups again this weekend.
Yeah, which you get a lot of
Early in the
in
season.
college football.
For sure.
I'm still super excited to watch.
Yeah.
I'm sure my wife will give me the day off of
it's
dadhood.
going to be hard not to tune into that Colorado game tomorrow.
I got to watch the Irish play.
What time's
have to.
one more
Well, I
time.
have to.
9 a.m.
9
They're
a.m.
both at 9
Colorado.
a.m. Irish and Buffaloes. Same time. Different
I'll be
opponents.
flipping like a madman for sure. I'm super interested to see if they can back it up. The line right now is the Buffaloes are actually favored by 3, is what I believe.
Nebraska
I saw.
lost their opener to, who did they lose to? Indiana.
Gotta get you hooked up with 2
decent.
screens. It's not that hard.
I know.
You got an iPad or a laptop.
I got an iPad. Yeah,
Come on.
I'll do it.
Figure it out.
I'll figure it out. A lot of bets, though. More bets than NFL
That's
games
wild.
right now, which is just nuts.
Want to just let everybody know something our sister station is doing that's actually pretty important. KSON 1037 and Moonshine Beach are coming together to raise money to help those impacted by the wildfires in Lahaina. You can join them for a special benefit concert coming up on Tuesday, September 12th, hosted by KSON's own Smiling Hawaiian Kimo Jensen. Got performances by country stars Brian Kelly of Florida Georgia Line, Chase Matthew, Runaway June, Tim Duggar. 100% of ticket sales and 100% of bar proceeds are going to benefit Maui Contractors Women's Auxiliary. For more information, you can go to KSON.com to get details and purchase tickets for the show that is coming up. That's Tuesday, I believe, the 12th of September next week. So just wanted to get that word out.
People are recommending that we take the trolley down. Where do you get that from?
You can get it at UTC now.
Okay,
Yeah,
UTC.
if you're
jump
North
on the
County,
trolley.
you can park at UTC
All
at
right.
their station.
Maybe we try that.
And you hop on the trolley and
Okay.
you avoid the traffic. It'll be a little slow, but you get there.
And you don't have to sit in traffic. Now, with the 2 little ones.
They might enjoy it.
They might
I think
like
they
it.
kind of
Okay.
think it's kind of fun because they've got those elevated tracks above the 5,
Okay.
and you just kind of, as you're going down, I bet they'll enjoy it a little bit. Now, it stops a lot of places, and it's a bit slower than you like it to be, but you don't have to worry. You're there, and someone else is doing the driving, and you park, and then you get out, and you pick it up
Then
back
you-
at your car in La Jolla, and then you
What's
head back
the
up.
circulation if they want to leave? Like, what's the, you know?
It's constantly run every 10, 15 minutes
Okay,
or so.
it's not
Yeah.
too bad. All right, maybe we'll try it.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, I think they stop running at a certain point late at night, but you won't.
We
have to
won't be
worry
out.
about
No,
that.
we won't
You're
be
not
out
out
that
that
late.
late. You're
No.
not late people.
No,
so,
no.
yeah, try the trolley to
All right,
avoid.
maybe we will try the trolley.
Avoid the 5 mess this weekend. All right, Paulie's got some headlines in the Reindl Report, including a new highest paid player in football history.
Dude,
in our
and
final segment.
What the hell are the Washington Nationals doing?
Bro, this is a big
That's interesting.
story.
Involving our own
Man.
Steven Strasburg. Get to that coming up in our final segment. Do some flubs as well. All next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Final segment of the week. The short week, because remember, we were off on Monday
I do
for the
remember.
holidays.
I do remember. It's been a long
4 days
week.
passes a little faster
It
than
does.
5.
It's still been a long week.
And then you got a short week next week because you're going
Very
on your
short.
trip.
Oh, man.
To Chicago and to Notre Dame.
Yeah, buddy.
That'll be fun for you.
Can't
How's
wait.
the weather looking? Have you checked the...
It was, I think, hot.
It's hot in a lot of places
It's
in the country right
it's
now.
very hot. Very hot.
But that's not unexpected in September.
Excited.
The Midwest.
Oh, no, not bad.
Not too bad?
Let's see. 64 today. That's
Oh,
not too
really?
bad.
No,
yeah.
that's not bad at all. That's great, in fact.
Sounds perfect.
No, next week, yeah, it's going to be great. A little rain.
Yeah.
64, 63, 68, 72, 73. Fantastic.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
You're
perfect.
You've scored jackpot right there.
Fall in the Midwest, my friends.
You
is
don't
not,
want 90 and humidity.
No.
You want 60s, 70s, maybe even just a touch of nip in the air
nip
when you get up in the morning.
would be phenomenal. It's a great city for the fall. And South Bend in the fall is just, there's nothing like it. So should be pretty good. Hope the rain stays away on game day, though. That
Because they will still play that game.
Yeah,
in the
they
rain.
will. Yeah. And Bo and I'll be sitting in the car, I'm sure, because he's not going to sit out there through it. And
All
by
right.
him, I mean me.
All right, we're going to get some headlines from Paulie. Reindl Report coming up right after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Premier Kia of Carlsbad. Still going to find some activity on southbound 163 near the Laurel Street Bridge. All that's over the right shoulder. Also traveling on the northbound 125 just before Hamishaw. A collision in the center divide. On the northbound 15, just past El Norte Parkway, a collision over to the right shoulder. With a huge selection of new Kias in stock, they're sure to have the Kia of your dreams. They're right off the 5 freeway in the heart of Carlsbad. Or shop online at premierkiaofcarlsbad.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
A very good open, but not as good as our football threesome open from yesterday. If you missed that, that's our new weekly segment on
Go
Thursdays.
back and find that one.
Very sexy.
Gentlemen, we will start off in the National Football League. Happens every time the next quarterback signs its extension. It's the biggest contract in NFL history.
That's
just where we're at.
Setting the market,
It
man.
sets twice a year.
Well, wait, you don't tell me these guys don't take a hometown discount because
No.
they just like playing in Cincinnati?
No.
Hometown kid?
Nope, they do not. And it was Joe Burrow's turn yesterday, Cincinnati Bengals. And Joe Burrow reportedly agreed on a 5-year, $275 million extension.
Woo.
And that's going to include just over $219 million guaranteed money. Highest paid player in NFL history.
So it's sort of yes, sort of no. The full contract is yes, the highest paid in NFL history. But, and this is the crazy thing, the guaranteed money, still a ton, $219.01 million, not 0.0. They got to get that extra 10 grand in there. Is second to Deshaun Watson, who
freaking
remains
Watson.
the highest paid player guaranteed in football history.
It's unbelievable.
That is really mind-boggling to think that Deshaun Watson is still the guy who has gotten more money than anyone. And I don't think anyone fully trusts. Is he going to have a good season or not? What's going to happen this year?
Everything else aside about Deshaun Watson, he's the guy. That's the one that you see. Yeah, that's the one. Freaking Browns, dude.
Justin Herbert is third on the list.
Yeah, he got paid.
Yeah, he got paid in July.
Yep.
And then Kyler Murray, fourth on the list.
I mean, that's 2 out of 4 in there you really
not
like.
Patrick Mahomes, not
Yeah.
Tom Brady, not
Josh
Aaron
Allen.
Rodgers.
Tom Brady doesn't.
Josh
play
Allen's still
Tom
coming up
Brady
to get
retired.
his
I don't
at
know if
some
you knew
point.
about this.
Yeah, Tom
He
Brady.
did, but he could have gotten a lot more. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
You're saying that if he wanted to hold out for the most money a few years ago in NFL history, he couldn't have done that? He didn't.
He could have signed a contract 7 years ago that was still today
Exactly. That's
paid.
what I'm saying. But he didn't do it. And Mahomes took a lot of money, like $500 million deal, but it's still not the most in NFL history guaranteed. Crazy.
Good for him, man. Love Joe Burrow.
They like him in Cincinnati.
Yeah, we like him here.
Their owner said, I don't know if we're going to be able to pay everybody, but we'll pay him.
Paying him. We'll have a quarterback. That's one thing I can promise you guys.
Well, speaking of big contracts, that transitions us to Major League Baseball, where I saw Britt Giroli was talking about what's going on with the Steven Strasburg and the Washington Nationals situation.
Man.
So we talked about Steven Strasburg's retirement from baseball a few weeks back when it was announced.
Someone broke that news a few weeks ago, one of the insiders. It wasn't reported by the Nationals, but they were going to have us. It was like September 9th ceremony for Steven Strasburg. They were going to officially retire him and retire his number, and that was going to be it. But he was also going to still get paid, obviously, the rest of the contract that he signed.
He still has a guaranteed contract.
Still has many years remaining on that deal.
So Britt Giroli said yesterday, developing story, Steven Strasburg's retirement press conference slated for Saturday has been canceled. Multiple sources say the plan was to honor him and retire his number, but the Nationals have changed course.
It was their idea, yes?
She said after that, it was the Nationals who approached Strasburg about retiring and paying him the full amount of his contract. Sources briefed on the matter say the team wants to change terms. Talks about his contract, 7 years, $245 million following their World Series in 2019. And Britt says he had nerve damage and is 100% disabled. Offering a gracious retirement ceremony and then trying to change the terms is something. So I don't know. Are they trying to get off the hook for some of that money?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
But she's saying the sources were that, like, they came to him and said, "No, dude, that's your money. You earned it. You signed it. We signed it."
Yeah, we gave you this.
I think they were going to try to defer a little bit more of it or something. That was all they were going to. He was still going to get it all, but they were going to spread it out a little bit.
And then they came back to the table and said, actually,
that's what it looks like. And
they found a loophole or something.
Well, there's no loophole. I feel like I'm a little mixed here because, well, you know, when Steven Strasburg signed the contract, guaranteed deal, you know he's getting his money, but it does come with obligations as a player. And that is, you do everything you can to help your team. Now, he may be physically incapable of it, but I don't know. If I'm the owner, does it feel right that he then just has to do nothing? He gets to retire and he can play golf and do whatever he wants for the next
But he can't. He's disabled.
He's on, but should he still be trying to do everything he can, like showing up at spring training?
Why?
Why?
I don't know.
He can't pitch.
He's not pitching. You want him in there doing curls?
I mean,
doing the plyo ball.
Sure,
to learn how to play. Learn how to play second base.
If he rehabbed for 2 years, could he not maybe pitch in that last year of the contract?
I don't think so. He can't feel. There's
nerve
now,
damage.
but forever. I don't know. I'm just saying.
So
I'm not arguing this.
You want eye wash from Steven Strasburg. You want him running poles at spring training to get his money.
It feels like they're threatening him basically. All right, you want your money? Then we want you to show up and do what you can. And if you don't want to do that, totally understand. We probably wouldn't either. However, if you want to get out of it and really live the retiree life, we're going to want a little bit of cheddar back on this deal. That's what it feels like that's happening right here.
It's not like he goes, I signed this deal.
You would push. You would fold instantly.
What do you mean?
You'd give back some of the money so you didn't have to show up and
I would be
do anything.
Yeah. Well, I would also no one believes me when I say this, but I think you guys know me well enough to know that, like, if I signed a massive, $300 million deal and I was like Chris Davis, I'd be like, just take some of it back.
I know you would.
You know me, and no one believes me.
Now, the Players Union would say, don't do that.
I know, but I swear to God, I'd be like, fine, I get it. I suck.
You'd give back money if you had one bad show.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
take it.
Here's
I couldn't sleep at night. But then again, he won a World Series. They offered him his contract. He signed it. They signed it. It's not like they didn't sign it. It's not like he went to him and goes, guys, I just do not have the passion for the game anymore. I'm out. I'm going to retire. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Right.
You got 7 years on your deal. And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to play.
No,
it's not that. It's like, I cannot pitch anymore, and I cannot do it. So do they really want him at spring training, maybe as an advisor or something, but You're not going to be out there running poles and hitting fungos. Earn that money. Hey, you guys don't have to pick. Strasburg's picking.
I mean, let's say
he's out there earning that.
I mean, this is radio, so there's no guaranteed deals like that. But
Right.
let's say
there is actually.
Okay, let's say you sign a fully guaranteed radio deal, but the ratings tank, and they want to take you off the air. But they don't want you to sit around for the next 2 years. We're going to need you to come in and answer the phones for the new host in the morning. You're going to be the phone screener. You're still going to get all your money, but we want you to show up every day. So we're getting something of value out of you, Stephen
what
Woods.
I would say to that. I think you know what I would say.
What would you say?
Eat my shorts.
Okay, but
is
then
what
let's
I
say
would
then we're
say.
not paying you anymore. We've asked you.
Okay.
You're under contract. This is your new assignment.
Okay, but if Woodsy
is
had
to answer
nerve
phones,
damage in his throat and couldn't talk,
Yeah. That's tough.
then the lawyers would get involved.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
just-
where I think this may be heading.
But it was their. This is all their
I
idea.
know, I
Like,
know.
He's like, you came to me. You came to me. We got to get this guy in here too, Paul. You got one more story?
Yeah.
Yeah. One more
right.
story. I guess we'll go real quickly here. You guys know Gatorade's got a ton of different options now. You got the regular Gatorade
Sure.
and all its flavors, but they also have like protein shakes
Yep.
now and a bunch of different ways to consume Gatorade
Electrolyte,
products.
something like boosters
Yeah.
and different ones.
They've got a new drink coming out.
Okay.
It's called water.
Ooh,
Gatorade
Gatorade's
water.
coming out with
Sucker
with
born every minute.
water.
my friend.
It's
Water flavored Gatorade.
absolutely. It's just water.
It's not like icy
They're
blast
saying it's
water
electrolyte
or-
infused,
Okay.
but it is unflavored alkaline water.
Crystal
with a Gatorade
Zoom
logo on it.
Gatorade water. I mean, it needs a sexier name than water.
I'll try it.
Of course,
It's water.
Try. It's got electrolytes in it.
Water.
Still electrolytes.
Water.
Do you believe in electrolytes?
I do.
Critical thinker that you are. Do you believe in
do
the
believe in
power of
electrolytes,
electrolytes?
yes.
Thank you, Paulie, for the Reindl Report. We've got a
skip the flubs.
well, yeah. I mean, absolutely. We have a very special guest. This was a surprise for you, Benjamin.
Very much so. Everything's a surprise for me on my own show.
Kind of is,
Actually,
actually. Our
kind of
boy
how it works here.
got a DM a couple weeks ago from a gentleman named Zach. Zach is here. Now, Zach, you are the manager at Texas Roadhouse?
I'm like an RM management, so I'm what we call a local store marketer.
Okay.
And basically, I go around and try to help out local businesses, do work with them, and try to gain the support of the local community.
Sure.
So where I am at, I'm at the Texas Roadhouse Oceanside location.
Yeah, that's where we went.
That's
a
where
couple
Ben
of weeks
went.
ago.
You guys went?
I
Yes.
take it someone heard my story of
Somebody
Texas
heard
Roadhouse.
your
One of
story of
our
Texas Roadhouse.
one of our servers is a huge super fan, Padres super fan. So
Amazing.
she listens to you guys every day.
That's awesome.
And shout out Janine. And she told me about it, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go bring those guys some bread.
He
So not
brought
only
us rolls.
Well, I did say that they are the best rolls I've ever had.
They
and the
are pretty
servers were
good.
fantastic. The food was delicious. The audio system
was loud, he
was
said.
very, very out of whack. Yes! It was
Hey,
very
it's an
out of whack that day. I
experience,
assume
man.
you've gotten that fixed.
It is an experience.
Now, do we have to shout yeehaw to get these rolls at all?
No, I mean,
Please
if you
do.
want to, yeah,
Please
actually,
do.
please
We need
do.
Ben to do it.
I mean, I actually brought the saddle, so like.
Oh, get in the
wow.
saddle, Ben. Is there there's no mechanical bull there, right?
No,
Probably
you
a
know what?
liability.
I wish
Yeah,
probably a liability issue,
insurance.
but it'd be pretty cool if we did have.
I would
one.
love to get Ben on a mechanical bull. Almost
More
more
than
than
anything.
anything. Almost
Come
more than
on.
anything.
I had an idea of trying to do some training before we get up to the mechanical bull. You remember those? You put the quarter in outside the
Yeah,
supermarket.
the little
and you-
horse.
little horse that you'd ride. Start with that before we move on to the mechanical bull.
You even on that would be fantastic. But these rolls are like second to none. He brought us rolls here.
They're
so
actually
we
still
get,
hot.
They're hot.
Oh, yeasty. They're yeasty. Can you give us like the secret of
Don't
the rolls?
say that.
Nah, it's
Never say that again.
Never say that. Oh, look at this. I'm going to show the...
They smell
Oh my
unbelievable.
Oh, my... How many rolls do you think I can get down before we leave?
You're gonna have at least 4. I mean, they go so. Oh.
Paulie?
And then here's the butter for you guys.
Oh yeah, the honey. It's like the honey
cinnamon butter?
that goes with it.
So, fun fact about Texas Roadhouse is that everything that we make at Texas Roadhouse is either from scratch, and we all cook it the same day.
Amazing. This is fantastic.
Okay,
And
good.
I also got a surprise for you guys. Another surprise besides the bread.
Uh-oh.
So these are free appetizer coupons.
Yes.
There's for free cactus blossom or fried pickle.
I love it.
I have a bunch of them for you guys.
You're a sweet angel, man.
So you guys can use them next time you guys come in.
Let's do, Paulie, let's do stuff Ben likes because he likes rolls and
That's
yeast.
true, and it's a little shorter,
It's
so we
short.
can eat these rolls. Can
Yeah.
we get that? Squeeze that in, Paulie, because I do
got
like
time?
a good. I do like a good Texas Roadhouse roll.
Save that one. Thank you, man. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you to the tier ones, too. Great week.
buttery.
God, these are good.
No, have some cinnamon butter.
I like good, juicy, sweet strawberries.
I like a good
They're still
marching
hot,
band.
right?
I like a good thin pancake.
I like a Nickelback song or two.
I like a
Pizza, too.
barbecue chicken pizza. I really like those seeds. I like a midnight buffet. I kind of like the smell of soft scrub. I like more of a small derriere. I like cake.
I like Ed Sheeran.
I like both a hamburger and a cheeseburger. I like clocks. I like how I've kind of set up my life. I like grasshopper pie.
Oh no, I like it creamy.
I like good, firm banana. I like just looking out at the sea. I like eating. I like moist. I like curry.
I like big butts.
I like fried Brussels sprouts. I like more of a firm filling. I like corn.
I like Nordstrom. I do like musicals.
I like pepperoni. I like nice hotels. I like Nick getting a start today. I like nuts. I like Steph Curry. I like that song.
I like Squirt.
I like sake. I like San Diego State.
I like Straight Up, Paula Abdul.
I like the beef and broccoli. I like to mix it up. I like science experiments. I like that song. I like the crispiness of the waffle. I really like cheese. I like the little lunch meat. I like very straight lines. I like cannelloni. I like a well-crafted headline. I like brown sugar. I like maps. I'll say I like Justin Turner.
Oh, that gets me every single time.
Everybody's coming in now. You just smell them coming
You
in.
guys know we're on the air,
building.
right?
Yeah.
We have a radio show.
We're
right
not
now?
done yet.
Oh, we're not
Yeah, we're not done yet. Yeah, Woodsy thought the show is over. John from KSON, he smelled the rolls. Now he's down here getting some. Make sure you get some of the honey cinnamon butter, too.
Oh, my God.
While we're here, I know. Everyone tries to undo all my good weight loss because everyth's so delicious. It's a problem.
Johnny did weight loss. Too.
Johnny did the weight
I
loss,
know he did
too.
it as well. It looks
You guys
great.
both look
Just have
good.
one. Just limit yourself to one. Is the word getting out in the building that I've lost?
Yeah, he walks around with his shirt off in here, and his pants off. Johnny, have a good weekend. You want to watch the game?
Give him an free appetizer card.
I did.
Too.
I gave him one.
Okay, make sure
Yeah,
that
these are
you
yours.
get those out for everybody right now. All right, that is it for us. We have reached the end of another week of Ben and Woods. Peace, everybody. We've got Padres baseball for you today. 5:10 first pitch, 4:10 pregame show with Sam Levitt from Houston, and then we'll be back Monday morning. Padres will be going on to L.A. to face the Dodgers next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. For executive producer and imaging director Paul Reindl, for Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Coach John Quintera coming up next. Have a great weekend, everybody, from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.